I even got my
Good.
Americana out today.
Your what?
Can you find it?
Oh,
Can
your gun? Firearm? I made the screen bigger. I can see it now.
This
Wow.
is actually illegal in Canada, what I'm doing right now, because it's not in the safe.
If you were in Canada, it would be
Yes.
illegal, he meant.
You can obviously see
Why?
I'm just Canadian.
Wait, why is that? Oh, it has to always be in the safe at all times, even if you're about ready to need it?
Right. I'm going hunting as soon as the show's over, so that's why it's here.
And he's also not in Canada. He's wherever that's legal.
That's a shotgun. This is Joe Biden approved.
That's the only weapon he likes?
That's the only one he says people should have for home defense, which is hilarious because I don't know if you know, but when America was going to war with the Germans, the Germans only had one complaint about America, and that was that they were using shotguns in trench warfare, and they were too effective. And Germany complained that there was a war crime to use shotguns because they called them trench sweepers. There's nowhere to run with 12 gauge buckshot going down a fucking 2-foot trench.
But I wonder what Biden's logic is, because, like, you know what I mean?
Because they want to ban the AR-15, so if they think the shotgun's just, equivalent, it's not. Shotgun's actually way more deadly than an AR. AR just has longer range.
Hold on. Is that true because you're going to get blown to, like, pieces with the shotgun?
Yes.
The
So
bullet in the AR is...
You know what buckshot is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has 9mm bullet in one shell. So instead of like having 9 people with each having a 9mm, you just have one shotgun with buckshot.
Yeah, but you compared it to an AR. I feel like the AR is going to fuck you up too.
It shoots smaller bullets. Well, I can shoot any size bullet you put your barrel to, but
I don't know, but
I would rather get shot by an AR at close range than a 12 gauge at close range.
Yeah, wait. So if Grosskreutz would have been shot with, you know who Gage, you remember him, the one that lost his arm?
Yes.
If he had been shot with a shotgun, he'd be gone.
Arm would not be there anymore. It would have vaporized. So remember, he still had a bicep, like it just blew his bicep. It would have took his arm completely off with a shotgun.
All right. I didn't know we were going here this morning. Good morning, Jimmy. I mean, Atlas Pass. Dude, Jimmy drew a picture of Darth Hideous's cat, rest in peace, fat ass, and it freaking was perfect. It unbelievably perfect. If you guys don't watch Click Draw Jimmy, I think it was on YouTube. I watched it, but I can't exactly remember where it was. I think it was on YouTube. It was so good. And at the end, he shows like the picture that he was drawing it from. Wow, Jimmy, talented. Good morning, Vicky. Do I have the picture? I mean, no. Yeah, I could find it. Hold on.
I was just going to rate it.
Oh, you want to? It'll be worth it. Let me find it.
I'm harsh.
I got it. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, my Lance, that's going to be hard to find. Wait, history for the win.
Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, beautiful.
Did you watch the Cat Williams thing?
I watched it this morning. Yes, it was great. I even pound stamped a couple spots. I may make some clips out of it.
Wait a minute, where is it? So maybe I watched it on Rumble. Were you guys on Rumble? Damn, because I just went back and I don't have it.
Someone will find it.
I could go to, okay, we're not going to do that. But it was 10 out of 10, I promise. And then I drew a little picture and compared to Jimmy's, I'm like, no, don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. He brings it up. And they're like, it's good. It was fun.
Yeah, that's one thing I could never do was draw. Like some of my friends in high school could draw really well. And I'd be like, oh, let me try this. Because, I was competitive. I'm like, I look like a fucking 3-year-old was drawing. Like just how some people can see, put lines places. You're like, why? Why is that there? And then eventually it just becomes.
Oh, I know. I watched it on my phone. And my phone, so my other phone finally took a actual shit, and I started using my new phone, and I watched on here. Well, here I haven't signed into anything yet, so I just found it the old-fashioned way. I went there through. Did I sign into Twitter?
Did you get an Apple?
I didn't sign into Twitter. Yeah, I just upgraded finally. I've had this phone for a long time. I just didn't move into it because I didn't want to do it. I'm like,
Are you one of those Apple
just,
exclusives?
it turns out that I ended up being that, not on purpose, just because it ended up that way. And I've used people's Android, and I'm like, whoa, I don't know how the fuck you do this. So I'm just,
Oh yeah.
it is what it is. And I think the pictures are superior. I always have thought that, but I'm great at taking pictures. So maybe it's just me.
I will give Apple credit. Their phones probably are better, but they're not as a dirty company as Androids. Like when a new Android
okay, I'm not
update
prepared to
comes,
debate that.
the old phones don't like glitch and turn into bricks like the Apples do, where they force you to buy a new one.
Whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, my other
You do?
phone, which is broken and crying in a corner somewhere right now, I've had that
Because it was
thing
an
for
update.
so long. No, dude, I had it. I couldn't update it any further. I don't know. The problem could have been mine, and I think it is mine because I'm having it on my new phone also. I have
Well, Apple admitted
to
to it.
I have to give it more of my information. I know that
Yeah.
it's like a planned obsolescence, you mean?
Yeah. Within like one generation.
Yeah.
So like they slow your old phone down on purpose to frustrate you to the point where you give up and buy a new one. Which that's when because
Yeah,
I
well,
had the Apple 1, 2, and 3. I was the first person in my town to have the
dude.
the first Apple.
Mhm. I had
And
the
then after
fucking AOL. If you think slowing down my fucking screaming fast Wi-Fi is gonna stop me in any type of way, no. As a matter of fact, my phone stopped working, like, it would shut off every 15 minutes. If I tried something on it, it would shut off every 30 seconds, and I decided, "You know what? I don't even wanna be on my phone that much." I almost got myself away from it, but something happened. Oh, I needed to take pictures. I was like, "Ugh, alright, I'm gonna move into my new phone," and so I've kinda moved in. I can't use it to make calls yet, but I can FaceTime on Wi-Fi, so that's what I've just been doing. I've been FaceTiming everyone.
my camera looks clear. Is yours clear on your end? You look like you're in 240p sometimes.
Today, right now, it does say I have a low signal.
That's it. Okay. Just troubleshooting so we know what the problem is.
Yeah, it's my new filter. I just pull the internet every once
Well,
in a while.
I didn't know if your camera was trying to focus on your flag or you and like fighting with it.
Oh, no, it doesn't do that. It's probably just altogether fucked. It says I have 1 out of the 3 bars, and
Oh
it's
yeah, that's your
unstable,
problem.
so I might have too many windows open, so let me get through them real
Yeah,
quick.
it's
I'm gonna
Starlink.
her cam. That's a different typo. Alright, so we're not gonna go here. Did you see the video I posted on YouTube about Trump's due process, Paula?
Yes. Yeah, I commented on it. I think we
You
talked about
did?
it maybe back that he's a problem.
It's an interesting, though, because he was like, "Nah, forget due process, that takes too long." And now he's like, "We need due process." No, no,
Right.
no, 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 no. He's saying
It's
fuck
the
due process again,
hypocrisy.
right?
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy
Because
that
he's
drives people.
saying I don't know. Guess what happened this morning in California? In my city.
Someone stole $999 worth of food and wasn't charged.
No. Did that happen somewhere?
Don't you know California passed a law where you don't get charged if you steal less than $1,000?
At all? No, no, not even a
That's why
misdemeanor?
all these people are
From
just magically
everywhere?
all of a sudden started to steal under $1,000 because
Are
California passed a
you
bill.
sure?
Yeah, look it up. The less than $1,000 bill.
No. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Less
I think it's like a
than
I don't. Yeah, they usually like instead of a felony, it's just a misdemeanor. It's a ticket, or it's so. Yeah, now people are
So
like,
it's
there's no
always been that
consequences. If I
way.
steal $1,000 worth of stuff and I get a $200 fine, I'm up $800. Why wouldn't I steal it? And that's when they started
This
putting
says
shampoo and hair products behind plexiglass in California. Yeah,
First shot said, "I don't claim Trump is perfect, but he is the best of the ones running." I agree. But
right.
yeah, I agree. Because there are a few things that are fundamentally fucked up, but there are many things on the other side that are fundamentally fucked. So
Right.
I
At
do
least
agree.
Trump's not
I
working for
just
China
don't. Well, I don't know. Who knows?
at the moment.
Uh, at the moment, I'm just saying I like to recognize something. If I would point it out on the other side, then I don't want to.
Yes.
I will point it out. I don't point out the other side because I want to, haha, fuck you. I point out the other side because it's ridiculous and crazy that that's just something that you vote for, and they're just blatantly in your face about it. So same with this side. It's like there are some things where Trump has really fucking said some scary things as far as a president should say, not the pussy shit. None of that. All that is fine. But
that's all just laughable.
Due process stuff, like wanting to skirt people's rights, that's a big problem for our president to be saying, I think.
I think Trump also talked
again, not worse than Joe Biden.
Without thinking about the consequences of what he says. He just says what he's thinking at the time. Because I can understand
Which
his
is why he should
sentiment.
be at the debates. I hate him for not going to the debates because that's exactly why he should have been there to make it interesting.
That's the hilarious part.
Good morning, libtarded faggot.
Good morning.
I don't think Trump hates America like Biden does. I agree. I don't know if Biden hates America, but he definitely thinks
sold America out.
He's so old. No, well, he's so old. He thinks he's such an old-fashioned thinker, whereas Trump, I don't know, maybe he's not. Maybe he's that way. Like he sees poor as black.
Like, what do you have to do for treason in America? Because Biden's obviously guilty of treason.
For what? Let me see.
Taking money from China? If that's not treason, what is?
Taking money from China? The crime of betraying one's country by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. Act of betraying someone or something. The historical crime of murdering someone. Or the crime of murdering someone to whom the murderer owed allegiance. So, crime of betraying, you think you betrayed our country?
100%. If you're getting paid by China and you're selling your decisions to China through your son, that's treason.
Wait, that was Ukraine.
Yeah, but the Chinese
Burisma was Ukraine.
Yeah, Chinese companies are paying through all that.
Oh, I do remember seeing some of the emails where it was like, thanks for letting us meet with your dad, but
and all the donations that are coming from China to all the politicians on his little, his wings.
I mean, I guess
like in Canada, they do it with fundraisers. So Trudeau, when he wants to get money from China, instead of China giving him money, he holds these fundraisers called $10,000 a plate fundraisers. So you get to go and have dinner with Trudeau, but you got to pay 10 grand to sit at the table. And all China does is send a bunch of retards and pays 100 of them and pays $100,000. And they all just go, remember what we want? Remember what we want? So it's bribery. It's just called a fundraiser instead. It's so fucking criminal. All parties do it, not just the left. It's both sides do it, but it should be illegal.
It probably is illegal. Well, that's the thing. So when Trump was the president, like somebody says, hey, Quid Pro Joe did a thing in Ukraine where he threatened to withhold aid if they didn't do the thing he wanted with the special prosecutor or some shit. And they're like, what do you know?
Son of a bitch.
By the time my plane left, right? They did it. And so Trump was like, hey, we should look into that because that's a problem if he did that, right? It would be a problem if anybody did that. And when he looked into it, yes. Fuck, it's so confusing.
Fucking crazy. Because the people who are running the deep state are all it's not Biden that's running the country. He's just a puppet. It's kind of like how equipment managers run sports teams. They can fuck that team up real quick by fucking up their bats or fucking up their equipment, making them lose, making them,
Really?
Deflategate. Remember Brady?
Wait.
They were
deflating. That happened to him from the manager?
That was the equipment guys. Got the,
Don't you dare blame some asshole who makes $100,000 a year because some fucking millionaire wanted to win, didn't know how. Yeah, you heard that, you Brady cocksuckers.
I'm pretty sure Brady probably just went through and like, oh, it'd be nice if these balls had a little give to them, They didn't ask him to do it, but they knew exactly what he wanted. And it was only the New England offensive balls. It was none of the other team's defense,
How many balls were deflated in Deflategate?
Well, it's crazy. They had like a bucket of like 30 of them for each side.
Damn.
Because if they go into the crowd,
only one side was deflated?
Only the one Tom Brady.
Do you feel like were they sabotaged?
They got intercepted. The guys were like, wait a minute, this is too squishy.
Really?
Yep.
Wait, was it sabotage though, or really was it just the team trying to win?
It was the team trying to win, but they masked it as, so our equipment guy didn't understand how many pounds per inch, except he worked there for like 15 years. But none of the fucking referees squeezing that goddamn ball said a word either.
Yeah, they don't know. They probably didn't know. They haven't handled it so often that they wouldn't know, probably.
They touch it every time there's a tackle.
Yeah, but what was the pressure supposed to be and what was it? Or what was the pounds or whatever?
I don't know footballs, but I'm going to assume it was like 9 pounds of pressure and it was down to like 6. So it makes the guys receiving it can catch it and get a grip on it better, and the guy throwing it can dig his fingers into it and get more of a spiral on it. So when you're small like Tom Brady and have little hands, it makes it 10 times better for you.
I want to know what the damn real number was.
I think they got charged or found guilty or something, but it wasn't New England. It was always after.
So then here we go. Investigation. The NFL began an investigation into the underinflation of the game balls in the playoffs. Do you hear that?
What?
Hold on. I have something happening in my ear.
I didn't hear. Nothing changed on our end. Maybe it's your Apple phone.
Somebody's talking to me. Oh, here it is. What the fuck? Oh, my Lanta, that was loud. No, it's just another screen. It's on the California bill, and she just started reading it to me. Whoa, that was loud. Okay, back to this.
I had that the other day. My PlayStation was automatically reading the screen and saying what was on the screen, and I didn't change any settings. I didn't do anything. I was just like, why the fuck is this narrating everything? And I had to go in and find it and turn it off, but I never turned it on.
Here we go. That is very, very strange. That's the Chinese. Head Smart Labs found that similar weather changes cause an average of 1.8 psi drop. Oh, that's just saying that. They also reported that the air in the electric pump could reach 130. What was it though? Okay. We test them. It's 12.5 to 13.5. We put 13 in every ball. Dean tested a couple of in the office and had one underinflated and one too specs, and you really couldn't tell the difference unless you actually sat there and tried to squeeze the thing or did some extraordinary thing. If someone just tossed you the ball, especially in 20-degree weather, you were going to pretty much play with the ball. They're going to be hard. You're not going to notice the difference.
Except they did, because that made them easier to catch and easier to throw.
Learn more on how referees test the document. So they must be talking about.
Oh, this was a full-on 2-year investigation. Because it was like rigging the game. It was Vegas gambling rigging. It was all and New England's also been in trouble, investigated like 12 times for cheating.
Michelle Obama becoming president is like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
Hey, Big Mike can do anything Big Mike wants to do.
His next wife?
Big Mike.
So he has to get a wife and she has to be great at football? Okay, no,
I'm pretty sure Tom's got no problem getting a woman. Wait,
good morning.
Isn't he like going to jail? What happened to that trial that we kind of covered?
He ain't going to jail.
When does that go to trial?
Let's look. Tom Brady. I bet he settles.
2024, 2025. They all got to settle. They have to. There's no way they publicly go through a trial.
I typed in Tom Brady lawsuit. Boom. $8 billion. Tom Brady is based with the $8 billion lawsuit. Okay, this is very big. How do I make it smaller?
Sam's going to have an Epstein in jail for sure, and then they'll just say it was all his idea.
11 months. Let's see if there's anything in the last week. 5 days ago. Comments.
Hey, inappropriate good morning.
Dolphins have gone all in. JP Morgan is in a fight over its client. It's lost $50 million. Wait, you just lost it or lost it? Legions of boomers have enough stake.
Companies like JP Morgan and all these other companies like Pfizer will get the biggest criminal fines in history, but the company doesn't go to business. Nobody goes to jail. So it's just like a tax. It's like a you got caught tax. So they sold like, what was What was the one they paid the largest fine for? Do you remember? It wasn't the recent vaccine.
Yeah. It was for fucking a dude grew titties, you remember?
Yes.
From
yes.
Yeah, and he got like 8 billion himself.
Yeah, became a gay sex addict.
He did?
Yeah, remember he took the pill for whatever reason, then he turned into like a raging meth addict, drug addict, sex fiend, and
allegedly. I don't remember that part.
No, that was his.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
No, that was his statement in court. That's what he won on. He's like, I wasn't a gay drug addict before I took this pill. Remember, they created the gay bomb. They can create gay pills.
They supposedly never used the gay bomb.
It went off.
You guys never saw our gay.
That was the accidental fucking. Whoops, okay, let's not launch another of these ones at home. You know, it leaked out of the San Francisco lab. Tell me I'm wrong.
I disavow all that. Just in case we wind up on the stand.
Yes, chat. Go back.
Okay.
We did the video about gay bombs, and they're real.
Mm-hmm. It said that one was proposed to make the population happier.
It was created though, and then they said we won't use it. Like nukes, they created it. No, we don't need this. We'll never.
I think it won an award for its ingenuity, but I don't think it was created. We'd have to look again. I don't think it was actually created. They're turning the.
That's what we should do for your 24-hour stream. Just go back and touch base on all of our little ones.
I'll probably have to do something like that. That's a good idea. I added the trailer to this video. I added the trailer that I put on YouTube of all of our videos, but I had to make it only 1 minute and 20 seconds. So I shortened it, so it was really fast.
I forgot what happened. Oh yeah, we did that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was like, oh, these are some good ones. I do. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And there's still so much. Like I have probably just hours of film or recording that never went out because we just started going live at a certain point and I never got to it. So some of that is fun to go back and watch. Mm-hmm. Because we would record for hours and then I would put up clips of it. So there would be like all the funny shit I would cut out because the funny shit just makes it's funny like right now in the moment. When I'm making a video, I'm like, oh shit, you can't say that clip. Okay.
Those are YouTube exclusive.
So all the yeah, they were definitely friendly. Okay, wait, hold on. JP Morgan is in a fight over its client's lost $50 million fortune. Legions of boomers have enough saved to be deemed sophisticated investors, yet many of those clients will inevitably face cognitive decline. Okay, by the time Peter Dolger signed the paperwork to have JP Morgan Chase handle his fortune, he had built a company spanning the U.S., sold it to a conglomerate, and bet the proceeds on a stock and oil beating the markets. By 78, he was worth at least $50 million. And according to his family, he was starting to show signs of dementia. What followed over the next half a decade was almost total wealth wipe out, as Peter's wife, Yoon, said they increasingly depended on JP Morgan's advice for managing their portfolio, only to watch it lurch ever closer to zero. They ended up with $1.5 million, selling their Boston condo and moving in with relatives. What? Oh, they're kind of cute. Huh?
Never trust a woman with your money.
Fuck off. JP Morgan did it. She was just there, like, wondering why. The details of how things unraveled are okay. We're not going to get into that's not what today's show is about.
So people who invest, like rich people, when they get financial advisors, they think the financial advisors is going to help them grow their finances. Mm-hmm. And what a financial advisor does is use their money to financially enrich the advisor's self. Because if they invest in ABC company and ABC company loses $500 million, the advisor doesn't lose a penny, but he actually won the what do you call it? The percentage that he invested, commission. So it's a win-win for the investor, the guy giving the advice, and it's a risk on the person with the money.
Yeah, but it's always a risk.
Not if it's a GIC.
What's that mean?
It's a guaranteed income, investment income. So, but it's really low yield. It's like 1%. 1 to 2%. But if you have $1 million,
you can just you can put your money in a savings account and make that same percentage. You might as well put it in a money market account and make 5 to 7%. Like, if you really don't want to invest, like, what's the point of that?
I'm just making a low
Just
ball
letting
number
the
'cause I don't know
government
what the
borrow your money for a little bit? Or the stock market, I
Yeah, that's
guess?
how banks oh my oh, you should see this little clip I watched the other day. So banks don't actually have money in the bank. So
Right.
if
I
I
know
go to
that.
the bank and I deposit $100, the bank takes that $100 and loans 90 of it out, and they only keep 10% in the bank. But the 90 loaned out, that guy puts that 90 into his bank account, and then the bank loans out 90% of that $90. And then it just keeps trickling down to where there's actually no real money in the bank. It's all on paper.
Sort of, yeah. Because technically, the one guy, when he goes to get a loan on his 90 on that 90% presumably he got from you, he has to show that that's not tied up in something. So if it's like back when the housing market crashed, they didn't do any of that shit. They were just like, "You have what? All right, you're good. Keep going."
Yeah. Well, they're not
Instead of
doing it
being like,
anymore
"Well, what
either.
is your debt to income ratio?" They're not. Well, I don't know about that.
Like McDonald's workers were getting $500,000 loans
Morning, hands.
because they were
Good
betting on them
morning.
to not make their payments. So the bank would say, "Oh, you work
I
at
don't think so.
McDonald's?" Yeah, this is what happens. So the bank would say, "You work at McDonald's, you make 20 grand a year, you want a mortgage for $500,000? Sure." And then the investor gives him that, and then the guy who sold him that mortgage, goes and bets money that mortgage will default, and the investor makes the money off of them losing their home. And then they resell that because the house stays to the bank still owns the house. The only person that actually loses money and goes into debt is the fucking person who borrowed the money, you couldn't afford to pay it back. And then they sell that debt to all these debt collectors, and it becomes a product.
I do think some of that is true.
It's dirty.
But, like, you're not getting a $500,000 loan on $20,000 income. You're just not. But you're right. If
Yeah,
you're
that's an exaggeration, but
yeah, okay. Good morning, Witchy.
good morning,
Good
Jacob.
morning,
Bitch.
Chippa. Okay. So, I was actually hold on, let me scroll down through this. No, you can't steal up to $950 worth of merchandise in California without consequences under Prop 47. Nova
But
is
what
wrong. It
can
should
you
say
do?
right after that. Okay. Prop 47 reclassified theft offenses from felonies to misdemeanors, including shoplifting. It doesn't mean that people can steal up to $950 in goods without consequences. So the threshold for felony used to be 5,000, right? I think it was 5,000 before. Is it 1,000?
Yeah, I think so.
Prop 47 enacted in 2014 has been brought back into the public eye following a segment that aired on Fox. Listen to how loud this is. This is what kept happening in my ear.
Media claiming that Proposition 47 in California is
Like,
a
I can't hear
free pass
anything.
for criminals.
Okay. The proposition reduces the penalties for some nonviolent drugs and petty theft offenses. Some Republican lawmakers in California are now pushing for a bill to repeal 47, while other lawmakers are looking to amend it. While proposing a pretty radical idea. Oh, we are proposing it. Make crime legal again in California. Who appeared on Fox News. Okay, whatever. This is like how old? They're just searching for news to be mad at?
Yeah.
Someone trying to get reelected or what? Who cares? So you bit the propaganda bait.
Well, no, like a
Spit it out.
misdemeanor, your
Spit it out.
fine's like $100, $200. You don't go to like. So if you steal
You're not
1,000, fine is a couple hundred. You're coming out a winner every time.
No.
I don't know about
If
America,
you
but I don't
steal
think most
1,000 or less, you have a misdemeanor. If you steal 1,000
What's the
or
worst
900
punishment you can get for a misdemeanor? I don't know.
it's just a fine scale.
Right.
So they're basing, and with felonies though in California, 3 strikes is a felony. So
Which is why they got rid of it because it's just
or
black
3
people stealing.
I don't think so.
Show me a
There's
video of a white mob robbing a strip mall for sneakers or Louis Vuitton or just one. Or even one video with like 5 white people in it.
Well, what if it's just one white person stealing? That doesn't count?
Not during the smash mob.
Okay, so to say that only black people stole during the smash mob summer of love shit, okay. I mean, I'm not
Which is
even.
why they passed this law so black people weren't catching felonies. They were just catching fines.
Boy, listen to what it says. 2014 Proposition 47 passed. You're 9 years late on giving a fuck. 10. We're in
No,
2024.
it's relevant now.
You just care now because the guy on the
Don't
news
blame
told
me
you to
because
fucking
black people
care.
just figured it out now that they can't get felonies.
My ass, they just figured it out. They figured out they couldn't get stopped if they all go together.
Oh, that reminds me. This is way off rabbit hole. Do you remember the case where that cop shot the wheelchair dude like 9 times? Whatever happened with that case?
I don't know, dude. I
Because it was the cop doing
that was
self-defense because
fucked
he
up.
had a knife. He's in a fucking wheelchair. And 9 times? Like, couldn't they just like put a brick in front of his wheel?
Let's see.
That was a wild case. I don't know if you know, chap. They accused this guy in a wheelchair of stealing from a Walmart or CVS or something, and the cop showed up to confront him, and the cop said that he had a knife. So the cop shot him from like 3 feet away 9 times.
In like a grocery store breezeway, right?
In front of the doors, coming in and out, yeah.
I can't find the video, but it did scroll me past some Gypsy Rose shit. Have you been paying attention to Gypsy
No,
Rose?
I never went down that rabbit hole. I don't like the kids stuff.
She was 24 when she killed her mom, or had her boyfriend kill her mom. 23, maybe, when she had her boyfriend kill her mom. She had a kid. She looked like a child. She acts like a child. She didn't know her.
Maybe she just looked like a kid on the thumbnail, so I wouldn't click it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Kurt was covered in heavy, so I really didn't want to.
You want to get mad about something that's new? Is that last year, January, in California, they passed another one of those look back laws where you can open up the statute of limitation for sexual offenses in California.
Yes. Talked about that, which I think
that happened in New York. It just now happened.
Oh.
It's California now. So New York's expired on Thanksgiving, like I think Thanksgiving evening or some shit at midnight. California started January of last year, so it'll be open for the next 2 years. Vin Diesel's caught up in it. Paul Abdul accused some dude.
Do you think this was like a way to try and net Republicans in a way for election time or anything? Like, it's weird, the timing of it.
That's a good question.
Because maybe they have somebody that they could possibly catch with it. Like, I don't know, one of Trump's aides,
Right.
a Trump aide or a Trump like lover. And like, hey, wait, he's out of the statute of limitations. We can't get him. But if we change,
but good lawyers know you don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. You don't know who else is out there from your side that fucked up harder. So
Democrats don't think that far ahead. They just think Trump derangement tunnel vision syndrome, right? Just with the what's going on with Trump now, trying to take him off the ballot. Democrats don't realize that. Oh, you think the Republicans won't take every fucking Democrat off the ballot if this works? There's more red states than blue. Blue just have the higher.
Well, they used a what if you. It's not like they didn't find something that they are trying to throw against the wall and say sticks. You know what I mean? They're using the 14th Amendment, Section 3. And the word insurrection coupled with people's memories of the word being used on the news. Like,
but
what would they use?
Found guilty of insurrection.
Right. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying if this worked and they were going to use it, they would still have to find something that fit the narrative.
Oh, Fender.
I guess the 25th Amendment for Biden.
That 70s show.
That's a good question. Is it?
That was a good question.
I think they brought their lawsuit before January 2023. But you might be right.
I don't know much about that case. Was he actually guilty, or is this just one of those?
Yeah, he was guilty.
Okay.
His wife is doing the divorce thing now and trying to like not fuck up the rest of their world. But yeah, he was guilty. I think there were 3 women. He got two of them were like guilty, and the other one was inconclusive or something like that. But he was gross.
What was some of the allegations? I never paid attention to it.
I don't know.
Like Epstein stuff, or he was just an asshole?
No, it wasn't kid stuff whatsoever. It wasn't satanic shit. It was just
Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Harvey Weinstein stuff. Good morning, Sparky. Okay. So what I was going to say before you sidetrack me into wherever the hell we are. Oh, you know what? We used to have let me see if I can find it. I used to have an overlay for this.
You just need a little black hole on the screen and just have a rabbit jumping down it every once in a while. Like the scroll bar.
Oh, I used to have it. Remember, I had the two people driving off into the woods. I don't have it anymore. We'll do this. I own you. A message to me from out of rabbit holes. Okay, no. What happened to me this morning was an earthquake. Now, here's the thing. On Friday, there was an earthquake in LA, a 4.0. And they were saying, we got an alert on our phones, like beep, 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 beep. National Weather Service is like, hey, for the next 48 hours, you need to be on the lookout for a bigger earthquake because this is a pre-shock. The reason they thought the 4.0 was a pre-shock.
Where is a 4.0 on your pucker meter?
A 4.0, basically everyone feels.
But
you know, it's just kind of like a, whoo, we're having. It'll knock shit off your shelves, but it will
you don't send kids home from school or nothing, right? Kids just
no. Yeah. They might get under their desks, but by the it's over in seconds. It's over.
Like I don't know the ranges.
6, yes.
6? That's
a
really
6, bad? You would probably be like, let's talk about sending our kids home. Probably. 6 is a real big earthquake. 7 is really bad. Yeah, 7 is really bad. I think they've had 8s and 9s. Here? Yeah, I think so.
I remember they canceled a baseball game or something in like 1993 or something. San Francisco baseball games, like the World Series. So I knew that one was big.
7.9. Ooh, 7.9 in San Francisco. Well, there were fires and it was like it was really bad.
Yeah.
1906.
Shut your World Series down. Americans don't fuck around with their sports, so.
It says, wow, that was a good one. Okay, but a few years ago we had one, a 7.3 or something. So we had one on like Friday, and they were like,
you can't steal $950 worth of merchandise in California without consequence under Prop 4.
Okay, let's shut this bitch down so that doesn't happen again. Let's move. What should I put on the screen?
Do you guys get tsunami warnings like Japan?
Paula. No. There's not where I'm at. No. Like NorCal will. They get tsunami warnings all the time. They got signs on the side of the road and they're like tsunami zone. I'm like, fuck living here. Why would you live here? You're driving by at sea level and they're like, there might be a tsunami. No. Forget it.
Right.
I actually, totally, to be honest, I am a little afraid of flooding here, but I've been told by everyone that that's the most retarded shit. So I'm not, but I also was afraid of the earth opening up and swallowing me during an earthquake. Again, very irrational behavior. Except for when we had that big earthquake, it opened up a 30-mile long, they call it something, and I forgot what its name was.
Yeah, remember South Africa and Africa or South America and Africa used to be together, so that's just the planet moving. Yeah,
well, either way, that happened. Okay. So when we had the earthquakes, we had like a 6 point something, and they were like, it's a pre-shock. There's going to be another one there. And we were like, this is stupid. Everyone, universally, this is ridiculous. You cannot predict earthquakes. And like 48 hours. And then
create them.
48 hours went 46 hours. And we're like, these idiots told ya. And then boom, hit with a way bigger earthquake, 7.3. And we're like, oh shit. And it went on for so long. It felt like we were having a nuclear explosion. Like halfway through it, it's like, I think I said, what is this? Because it was so crazy that it was still shaking. And that opened up, like I said, that fissure in the ground where they found that there's this Garlock fault that connects the San Andreas fault, and that it wants to unzip the Longberry caldera and like fuck things up for the West Coast for a while, and that it's overdue. Well, okay, so fast forward, that's been a few years now, maybe even 5 years. I don't know how long it's been. Something like that. And they had started getting earthquakes again. Like New York got an earthquake. I think Washington, there's an earthquake by the Great Lakes.
This part of Canada, which is very rare. They're weak. They're like 3s and stuff, but they're super rare.
And so it's like something about the pressure needing a place to release and blah, blah, blah. Like I was listening to Dutchson's, this man on YouTube who does earthquake predictions. And he was saying, there's a time basically where the planet is, doing its movement through the seasons, that the plates are more active, and this is one of those times. Anyways, on Friday they said 48-hour warning. They sent us an alert to our phones. 48-hour warning, like, I don't know, we're supposed to duck and cover for 2 days or something. And we didn't. But I did take certain things off the shelves, and that when I would see the things to like put them on the shelves, I'm like, oh yeah, earthquake warning. No big deal, right? It expired yesterday, and they said the reason they thought the 4.0 was a pre-shock was because in itself, it didn't have its own aftershocks. So it was just this that came from nowhere and seemingly had nothing else. So they assumed that was actually a bigger pre-shock, which is just a foreshock, like it happened before the actual earthquake. Or fracking, depends on who you ask. But yes. Okay, I'm glad you said that though, because they were in LA, hold on, that there was a boom before the shake. And so I was reading about this one that we just had this morning here, and the girl said there was a boom and then a shake. And I'm like, it's weird that there was a boom before the shake. That's not part of an earthquake. Right. It's not like grumbling, growling, like hearing it rumble towards you like a train or a semi truck or something. That's completely normal. But boom, then shake, different.
Right. I remember I think I made it. I don't know if I sent you the video of the people in, I think it was California, of the ocean coming up and like sweeping people away and their cars away and everything in this rogue wave. And I made the joke like that's just the military testing their bombs offshore too fucking close and sending tidal waves towards California.
Or it's the aliens preparing to launch from their base in the Middle Earth.
Well, that was the cover up for the last little looting at the mall. They tried to say it was an 8-foot alien walking around Miami.
I didn't see that, but I did hear that. I never thought I'm going to go look at that because I don't believe that shit. But hold on, let me just finish this. Okay, so Friday there's an earthquake. Sunday the earthquake warning expires like noon. 48 hours, probably not a pre-shock, probably just a singular shock, earthquake regular. This morning I'm sitting in the kitchen making my coffee, and the iPad goes off, and it's the earthquake warning sounds like ba-ding, ba-ding. Now I forgot the other sound, but this sounded like ding ding, and I'm like, what was that? And I look over, and the iPad has got a notification, so I look at it and it says, in your city just now 3.0, and I'm like, oh no. Well, I didn't even feel it. 3.0 is like you really kind of have to be concentrating to feel it. It was literally
that's the biggest we get here. Yeah, like people like, did you notice something or did you?
Yeah. 3.5, I would say if you're like laying in bed trying to fall asleep, you'll for sure feel that. Or maybe, you'll for sure feel that. If your dogs are paying attention, they'll feel it. 3s are hard to feel. 2 under that, it's like, why are we talking about it? But I thought about it later, like 5 minutes later, I was like, wait a minute. It said my city, but where exactly in my city did it hit? And so I look at it and it said 18 miles east. 18 miles east of my city is exactly where that fissure, 30-mile wide, opened up 5 years ago. Exactly where it hit.
I just typed in, I was trying to find out how big
all the places for it to hit.
How big? And? This is like 80 years ago, almost 100 years ago. How big do you think one? A little bit more north of me, like an hour north of me, we had one 7.2 in Newfoundland.
Dang, that's good size.
We're not even on a fault line, which makes it even crazier. So what's making our earthquakes?
Well, the plate's moving. Ding, ding, ding. BlackRock just announced they're laying off 600 employees from their ESG division. They lost $5 trillion. Imagine having $5 trillion to lose.
To lose. I just want the interest off
it. Boomer said boom is from a sudden shift in pressure. I mean, I've experienced more earthquakes than most, and that is not normal. The tail of North America seems like a scary place to be.
This is weird.
The tail of North America.
So I'm on science.
Fracking drilling. Yes.
Apparently, we have 450 earthquakes a year in Eastern Canada. I've never felt one in my life.
What are they average, like in the 2s? Does it say that?
It says magnitude in 3 Eastern Canadian event magnitudes of 2.5 or greater.
That's not, I mean, do you do a lot of fracking there? Or
No,
drilling?
Until
Drilling in general is banned?
fracking's banned in my part of Canada.
Size Canada. Let's look. So you guys want to talk about California falling off? Fuck out of here. Look at that line right there. Just going to break off. No
Right?
one's going to give a shit. Fuck out of here. Montreal, whatever it says in the middle.
Get the French. Get the French.
Fuck them. Nobody wants to learn your language. Now you can put up all the signs you want. Bye.
See the one out there in the ocean that's a 7? I would assume that would be a tsunami, wouldn't it?
No. The tsunamis are, it's so hard to get a real one. That's why it's impressive when it happens. Like, they're always happening.
Like the Earth's crust raises up under the ocean and flicks water like a fucking wave.
Mm-hmm. Just like a freaking wave. Yeah, but like we have big earthquakes all the time off of the shores. By the time the water gets this far, it's just probably high tide.
I'm curious why Japan has tsunami warnings.
This is a pretty good sized one inland though. So are these. Whatever's happening here, look how big these are. This is clearly some type of fault line. Like they're nowhere else, but the big ones are here. It's gonna break off, and over here. That's probably how all this water got here in the anyways. Oh wait, is this America? Regular America?
Yeah. That's Michigan right in there somewhere.
Yeah, I see the mitten.
The mitten.
So I was reading. Damn, now I forgot. Something about this guy from Ohio. It's gone. Did you see that there was a kid who beat Tetris?
I heard there was like a movie or something about that.
Recently?
Yeah, I was watching a podcast and they were talking about the Tetris movie and how it was linked to Russia and money laundering and somebody got killed over this Tetris movie. I'll have to do more research.
Naughty said, but tsunamis aren't a giant wave. It's like a sudden tide coming in. Damn it.
I don't know. You see that one where the ocean disappeared and then came back? That was fucking crazy.
You're going to make me Google what a tsunami. I'm going to look up what a tsunami is.
Do you remember that one? It was all on video where the actual ocean left the beach and people were like walking out going, where did the ocean go? And then it came back in.
Yeah, that's a bad sign. Share this tab. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Oh my God. Look at that. What are these people crazy? Tsunami.
The ocean disappeared and no one knew what happened. They just were like, where did the water go? So people were like, what happened? They just started walking out to where the ocean used to be, not realizing that it was building up to come back in like a fucking cannon.
That's what that's what she said in chat. It's like a sudden tide coming in. So basically it pulls out and comes in like a sudden tide. Tsunamis aren't giant waves, but right here it says is a series of waves in a body of water caused by the displacement of a large body of water. So it's technically you're both right. I love it when that happens.
That was a big fucking wave because I think it was going like 30 feet high.
Oh, it says, unlike normal ocean waves, which are generated by winds or tides, which are in turn generated by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun, a tsunami is generated by the displacement of water from a large event. So like a storm is out there pulling out the water and then it comes. Oh wait, that doesn't happen. That's a hurricane.
Displacement means that the ocean floor dropped,
moves,
earthquake, and then went back to normal.
Or it's just blowing bubbles and it's chucking milk.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I just wanted to talk about that for a moment. Deflategate is over. I'm going to close a bunch of these so that I can get my stuff back. I did show this for a second. Screenshot, share. Hi, Nova. After a manual review, a copyright owner has claimed some of your material in your video. So I think you said you were copyright struck. This is a copyright claim, which is way different. It means they can take all your money or block it from other countries, but it doesn't mean you're struck, which is a good thing.
But I made that video.
I just saw this and I was like,
6 years ago. Or longer.
Objection, relevance, or something.
Well, shouldn't they fucking get me like the first year I put it out? Isn't there a statute of limitations?
No, dude, if they catch you, you're caught. That's all. Maybe they weren't looking for it. It says manual review, so that means the person finally they probably got around to their tab and were like, "What's this tab?" and saw all these people using their shit, and they're like, "Mine. Easy, claim. Don't take it off, just claim so you can make anything from it."
They can't get money from me. I'm not monetized, so joke's on them.
They don't get your money. They get money from YouTube if they run ads on it, and if they are monetized and if it's monetizable content, then YouTube sure will run ads on yours.
Would they run ads on me when I'm not monetized?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fuck them then.
It's weird. Some videos I'm like, why is there an ad here? This person has 75 subs. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I assume that's it. Do you want to look at this that you got banned from YouTube for or Twitter?
Yeah, this got me. This is why I fuck Elon. I was pro Elon up until this moment in time.
Okay, now what did you are you going to tell us what you said first, or do you want to tell us what you said after?
Well, you can read it and I'll tell you what I like. So that's her clip. Okay. This is what she said. So I
Joy
watched
Behar. I have been boosted and boosted and boosted, so I got COVID. It does not prevent you from getting COVID, but you don't die from it.
And I said, I bet she dies in 2024, or she dies in 2024. I bet my house on it. Which is a prediction, not a threat, not inciting violence, which they called, that's exactly what they deemed it as, is violence or hate speech or something or other, and 7-day ban. And they reviewed it manually, so a human being reviewed it and said, yeah, he's being violent. Fuck you.
She dies in 2024. I bet my house on it. You should have said of COVID. You got to tell the things she dies from, so you're Nostradamus and not just a fucking crazy person on the internet. Obviously.
Well, it was in the context.
That way they know you're not saying like with my blade or my bullets.
Well, I think if you read that headline, you'd only take it one way, wouldn't you?
But you don't die from it. And you say she dies. Yeah, it is kind of a continuation of this. Are you able to appeal a suspension on Twitter?
I did, and they manually reviewed it and said, nope, you're still guilty.
Oh. Fucking Elon.
Like, I could see the algorithm catching it up, and I was kind of like okay about it. Like, the algorithm can catch it as long as it's reviewed and somebody, but somebody reviewed it and still fucked me, so.
Freedom of reach is for cucks. I'll let them know. I told him for you, so don't worry about them.
What are you going to say if he replies?
He's not going to reply. What does he have to say to that?
He replies to some people. Well, he replied to Viva.
Viva is a rumble plant.
That's true.
Close letters to Trump. JP Morgan, close. Tsunamis, earthquake zones. We're basically to the show topic now.
Boom. That was the warm-up. We got 40 in here. Everyone's warmed up, ready to roll.
Housekeeping is a pain in the ass. Am I wrong?
That's what.
Okay, so we're going to talk about today the Supreme Court decisions, the landmark Supreme Court decisions that came out in 2023.
Oh, look at her doing Trump dirty. Look at her. She doesn't even know how she
Wait a minute. How did I?
Little T Trump.
Low T Trump.
Oh, after what he said, he deserves the little T.
Oh my Lanta, why didn't my spell check come through for me right there? Oh man. Getting backs prevents you from getting COVID. No, it doesn't prevent. It prevents you from the dead.
And it doesn't do that. It killed 17 million people so far.
No, those were heart attacks and strokes. Relax.
Right. People under the age of 35. Professional athletes.
Olympians and shit.
Olympians.
Booyah. Okay. So, do you know any of these? Do any of these ring a bell to you?
Trying to see any names. Students for fair admissions. I'm assuming that one is about the Asians being discriminated against because they're too smart.
And whites, but yes. Well,
and the whites too. Oh, okay. I thought they could discriminate against whites. Thought that was the new wokeism. Progressivism is all racism is okay as long as it's against white people. It is in Canada.
Let's click into this. We might as well go here while we're right here. Oh, hells to the bells. Why would I do this? 237 pages. This is what I linked? That's not happening. Past divinity is a bitch. Current divinity ain't doing this to you.
Cliff notes. Just need the cliff notes.
Syllabus? Is it just going to be in the syllabus part of this? How long is that? Cliff notes. I should send this through the AI.
Yeah, now apparently reading up the vaccines giving people AIDS.
9 pages. Everyone knew that to begin with. If you were a conspiracy theorist, this is not news to you. This is literally what they were talking about when it first started. How to treat your immune system because of what this was doing. It's weird sometimes when they're right. This says Harvard College and the University of North Carolina are two of the oldest institutions of higher learning in the U.S. Every year, tens of thousands of students apply to each school. Many fewer are admitted. Both Harvard and UNC employ a highly selective admissions process.
Is it racist?
It turns out, okay, let's go back. Let's do a different thing. I'm gonna
This was Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Or all Ivy League.
It turns out that they were being racist.
I love how they only assume that you can be racist against black people. So if you're racist against Asians, it's okay. If you're racist against whites, it's okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Harvard. They ruled that you couldn't do this. They were like, your affirmative action has gone too far. Harvard.
Affirmative action. I
can't believe I didn't link
something. I don't know how that passed in America. It was illegal and racist from the day someone thought of it.
They were trying to make up for like historic wrongs or something.
Can you cure racism with racism?
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Obviously. Okay, this is a landmark decision in the Supreme Court, which held that race-based affirmative action programs in college admissions programs violate the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th Amendment that we just covered. Isn't that funny?
Nice.
Anyway, I mean, kind of keeps coming up in weird places.
Without affirmative action, Elizabeth Warren never would have got accepted to university, and she never became a senator.
Yeah, and we would have never known she was Indian.
Or a fake Indian.
I mean, 1/1000th is not fake. She had it, that's real. Yeah, that's all. That's basically it. In 2013, students against Harvard filed suit against Harvard in Boston, alleging that the undergraduate admissions practices violated Title 11 of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. In 2019, a district court judge upheld Harvard's limited use of race as a factor in admissions. 2020, the Court of Appeals affirmed the district court's ruling. In 2023, the Supreme Court issued a decision in Harvard by vote of 6 to reverse the lower court ruling. In writing the majority opinion, Justice Roberts held that affirmative action in college admissions is unconstitutional because of the absence of U.S. military academics in the cases, lack of relevant lower court rulings, and the potentially distinct interest that the military academics may present. The court, limited by Article 3, did not decide the fate of race-based affirmative action in the military academies. Oh, interesting. So they might still do that in the military academies.
Well, I could see the military doing it schools for like actual tactic reasons. You don't want to hire Afghani translator to work with your military that's white. You want to be able to blend in and be accepted by the locals. I could see that being like an actual reason.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Where you would have to discriminate need. Like you wouldn't want white people to go into the
like if you're going to like a Taliban meeting to try and negotiate like release of somebody, you don't want a white guy in there going, Mr. Taliban, listen to me, trust me.
Hey, Mr. Taliban, release all our soldiers. Exactly. That's why white people aren't allowed to go do it.
That's our new word, but you remember what it was in the original song? Now it's gonna be Taliban in your head forever.
Hold on.
Hey, Mr. Taliban, tally me by now. See, she'll never get it.
I got nothing. It's gone. It's a Taliban.
It was from the movie Beetlejuice, if anybody in chat's curious.
I remember. They're like, come on, you want to go home. Okay, let's get back to this because I don't want to scare everyone away. So, affirmative action. Adios. The United States v. Hansen has a flame. What could this be about? Oh, I know what this is about. U.S. v. Hansen is a case that was decided by the Supreme Court in June 23. The case was argued. Okay, highlights the issue. Get out of here. What's this? The case concerned a First Amendment challenge to the U.S. immigration law outlawing the inducement of illegal immigration and for personal financial gain, and the court's ruling in U.S. v. Sturgeon, somebody in Smith. Click here to learn more. The question presented, whether the federal criminal prohibition against encouraging or inducing unlawful immigration for commercial advantage or private financial gain,
or
in violation of 8 U.S.C. whatever, is fiscally unconstitutional on First Amendment's overbreadth grounds. So they're saying that this case was about somebody who was advocating or advertising to illegal immigrants to come and reap benefits. And
didn't Tyson Foods do that? Didn't Robert Burns try to sue them for something similar?
I don't know.
They were hiring a bunch of illegals instead of Americans because they were half the price.
That's illegal? I thought that was the American way.
Well, it's supposed to be illegal.
Oh. The outcome, in a 7-2 opinion, the court remanded the judgment to the U.S. Court of Appeals in the 9th District, holding that since Title VIII only forbids the intentional solicitation or facilitation of certain unlawful acts, it is not unconstitutionally overbroad. Amy Coney Barrett delivered the decision to the court. Oh, we could listen to the oral argument. That's freaking dope. We're not gonna. Don't worry, we're not gonna. But basically, they found that they could restrict certain speech that would be harmful to other people, like
the people who could get paid living wages instead of being undercut by the illegals. Americans. It's what they do in Canada. They water down our wages by importing illegals from Mexico to pick our fruit and vegetables instead of us picking it, because they'd have to pay us actual money, whereas they pay them fuck all, thus hurting the Canadian population.
Tallyman to tally count his bananas for payment. Are you sure it's not Talleyrand? That's a person too. Allahu Akbar versus Aloha Snack Bar. Okay. On this case that we just looked at, the Hansen one, they were able to restrict. The Supreme Court sided with the government, saying that they could restrict this particular speech because it was inciting illegal
immigration. Yeah. Exactly what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and them are doing now. Come to America. Right. We'll bust you up to New York.
Well, you know, it's funny because she said, don't come, do not come, remember?
Come to America. Come, we need you.
She said that when she wasn't the vice president. When she was the vice president, she said, do not come.
After the fact, after they all came.
Well, the teasers would be like that. So
that's
this
Donald
is
Trump's in the top 10 for Donald Trump quotes. I'm going to come.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to go into that. This right here, this little piece of fire right here is the why you are allowed to yell fire in a theater. What you're not allowed to do is incite violence, which is U.S. v. Hansen. He was inciting something that the Constitution was put in to prevent, such as illegal immigration and violence against each other, or whatever. So that's kind of a tangent. That's kind of a rabbit hole. I'm going to leave it there. Now even the black mayors don't want the dirty, scrubby illegals.
Yeah, they'd love to open borders as long as those people weren't anywhere near them.
Yeah, this is
why they shipped them to Martha Vineyard first.
Groff de Joy. DeJoy. These names are wonderful. This one is facts of the case. Gerald is a Christian and a U.S. Postal service worker. He refused to work on Sundays due to his religious beliefs, and the USPS offered to find employees to swap shifts with him, but on numerous occasions, no coworker would swap, and Jeff did not work. USPS subsequently fired him. Jeff sued the Postal Service under Title VII Civil Rights Act, claiming the USPS failed to reasonably accommodate his religion because the shift swaps did not fully eliminate the conflict. The district court concluded the requested accommodations would pose an undue hardship on the post office and granted summary judgment for the post office. The U.S. Court of Appeals affirmed, so they took it to the Supreme Court. The question, is inconvenience to coworkers an undue burden under Title VII, the Civil Rights Act, such that it excuses an employer from providing an accommodation request for religious exercise? Bum, bum, bum.
I bet if they were Jewish or Muslims, they wouldn't even have challenged it. It's the fact that they were Christians, the challenge where it came from.
You'll never know. The Supreme Court said
they don't stop Muslims from praying 5 times a day.
Who's they? Okay, hold on a second. You might wonder. I have to. I don't know if that's true.
Because we had it when I used to work at Michelin. We had a couple of them, and we were like, we only get 2 breaks a day and a lunch. How come this motherfucker's getting 5 breaks a day and a lunch? Well, it's because he's Muslim. He's not really on a break. He's praying. I'm like, I'll fucking pray 5 times a day for a break. And no, didn't work.
Me too.
Way. Same as when the
back 1 second.
COVID vaccine exemptions were coming out. They would say, I'm exempt because of my religion. They go, what's your religion? Like, oh, I'm Christian or I'm whatever. Like, oh, well, I'm Christian too, and you can take it.
I'm a breatharian. Fuck off.
Right?
I'll be right back.
Now, here's a question. So, they did this. Yeah, for you.
Okay.
Your business doesn't want to hire Christians because they don't want to work on Sundays. Can you just not hire any Christians ever again because they may not want to work on a Sunday? Because if you don't hire them, then you don't violate their rights of not letting them take Sundays off.
If you're not hiring them because of their religion, yeah, that's illegal.
But is it?
You just don't tell them you're.
Yeah, but you don't have to give a reason.
You just
hiring as an employer.
Well, then no one would ever know. You can just say they're not a good fit.
Right.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Ask chat. Chat knows.
So what do you think, chat? So this was the old question. They were getting rid of people. So like if a pregnant woman applied for a job and she was like 3 months pregnant, the employer would be like, you know what? If we hire her, she's just going to be off in another 6 months for a month or so. I don't know how long they want to take maternity leave. Why would we hire her? We can hire the woman next to her who's not pregnant and she won't need maternity leave in 6 months. So are you discriminating against the pregnant woman, or are you being a good business manager and saying, well, why would we hire somebody who we're going to have to replace for a month, hire an intern and waste all that money when you can just hire someone completely capable who's not going to worry about that? And that's why you could hire, say, a man over a pregnant woman. Is that discrimination, or is that financially fucking smart business practices? And I always find it funny when the feminists say that women only make 70% of what a man makes. And I said, if that was true, then businesses would never hire a man ever again because they would drop their expenses on paying salaries by 30%. That would be a huge win for a business. But they don't do that because women aren't paid 30% less. The reason women are paid 30% less is they can work less hours, they work less dangerous jobs, and they don't work as many overtime that men work because we're fucking retarded. Women like to be social and have their life, and we like to buy toys. So if we have to work 44 hours a week, 50 hours a week to get a new toy like a car or a gun, we'll do it. Women are like, I don't care how much I want a new toy. I'm not going to break my back or my mind or my body for it. And therefore, women don't make as much money. Women are good drivers, so no one ever. You've never been a passenger of a female driver, I can see for sure.
Whatever. I'm a way better driver than you could ever be.
That brought her back. Women get in way more accidents than men get, almost like 3 times more. But you guys get in fender benders, whereas men die in high speed fucking testosterone road rage incidents.
And that makes you worse drivers.
Men are more deadly. Women are more prone to accidents.
Yeah, because you guys are more aggressive.
Right.
That makes you worse drivers.
No, it makes you guys get more accidents.
Little fender benders aren't the same as accidents that kill people.
Yes, because you're not high speed. You're at the easiest possible speed to calculate your distance, and you still don't pay attention because you're putting on your fucking eye like up and your lipsticks and the mirrors.
No. Because accents are called accents because some asshole did something in front of you. Pretty sure it's in the dictionary. Okay, so what was that one? That was this Jeff guy who the court sided with him that the employer needed to respect his religious, accommodate him, correct. There's another one.
But you only get that if you can afford a lawyer to sue to defend your rights. Nobody has rights if you can't afford a lawyer.
No, not true. In California, well, in the United States, there's the some kind of like labor board. Damn, there's a name for it. It's like there's a whole board for it, at least in California. We overregulated, but it's good if the government try to fuck you in other ways. Yeah, but you can, they do represent you. Well,
it's like the FDA.
Probably a bunch of libtards who want the business owner, that rich white man, to suffer because fuck him. It really it's all comes out in the wash. But related case 303 Creative LLC. First
what is that one? That kind of looks familiar in my head, but I don't know why.
Well, the rainbow is probably what's familiar about this to you. Department of Labor, thank you.
Bake the cake? Is that one?
Bake the cake. Is it? Lori Smith is the owner and founder of a graphic. Well, it's the equivalence to that. It's the one that fixed that. Founder of graphic design firm 303 Creative. She wants to expand her business to include wedding websites. However, she opposes same-sex marriage on religious grounds and does not want to design websites for same-sex weddings. She wants to post a message on her own website explaining her religious objection to same-sex weddings. The Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, CADA, prohibits businesses that are open to the public from discriminating on the basis of numerous characteristics, including sexual orientation. The law defines discrimination not only as refusing to provide goods or service, but also publishing any communication that says or implies that an individual's patronage is unwelcome because of a protected characteristic. Even before the state sought to enforce CADA against her, Smith and her company challenged the law in federal court, alleging numerous constitutional violations. The district court granted summary judgment for the state, and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit affirmed. Question: does application of the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act to compel an artist to speak or stay silent does the application of the CADA to compel an artist to speak or to stay silent violate the free speech clause of the First Amendment? Conclusion: 6-3 decision for Creative, 303 Creative, majority opinion by Neil Gorsuch. The First Amendment prohibits Colorado from enforcing a website designer to create expressive designs that convey messages with which the designer disagrees. The First Amendment prohibits Colorado from, I just read that, disagrees. Neil Gorsuch, 6-3, majority opinion. The First Amendment exists to protect an uninhibited marketplace of ideas and individual liberty, which means the government generally cannot compel a person to espouse its preferred messages. So not only does she not have to do that, she can advertise that she explicitly does not do that.
So how do laws pass if the law that gets passed violates the Constitution on its face? Like, shouldn't that be like...
Well, states can create their own constitutions or their own, and they could be...
Who overrules who? So if the state has a constitution and America has a constitution,
well,
and they conflict with each other, who gets to overrule the other?
The federal constitution is the law of the land, and you're not allowed to make laws that abridge that. But I think there are I don't know. I think it happens all the time, like in California, and that's what the Supreme Court is for, is to make
like all these discrimination
ultimate check and balance for them.
Laws, they're all in direct conflict with the Constitution, but they somehow get passed, and people have to end up going to court and spending thousands of dollars to challenge it to get it struck down. But I don't know how it even was allowed to be passed.
Well, so if Colorado has the anti-discrimination law, right? They passed that. and that wasn't violating anything. And now somebody wants to do something where they realize this law would stop me from exercising one of my rights. Now it's a question of the courts. Is this which law is supreme? The First Amendment or this state amendment or state, what do they call it? Bill, whatever it was, an act.
But my question is, how come they can't figure that out before somebody has to go through the fucking ringer of a trial and a show? And like, you think they'd have like intellectual?
Because it's a question of who, but people aren't okay. So it's one lawyer who thinks they're right. They're reading these words and thinking this is how you interpret it, and there's another lawyer reading the words and thinking how you interpret it. So it's not as easy as you would think. They would just be able to sit down and talk it through like adults. That doesn't happen. We wouldn't have Monday's show if that happened.
Like if I do things, I think if I do X, the consequences are going to be Y. B's, there'll be all these consequences, and like you try to foresee the problems you're going to have before you have them. But
that's what happened here. Is that she foresaw that she would have a problem based on the Colorado's Anti-Discrimination Act, so they brought the lawsuit. They brought the challenge themselves because they foresaw, based on this law, that what they would be doing would be illegal. So they are being adults about it. They're just not the first person. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the state can pass anti-discrimination laws as long as they don't get in the way of things, but you don't know what shit they're going to get in the way of until they do. So it's at least there's another check or balance to make sure that
I just see it like in my mind. I would see like they would draft their bill all up and send it to the Supreme, like these guys, and these guys would be like, "Hey, don't even waste your time trying to pass this. We're gonna fucking shoot it down."
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
Well, then lawyers don't make money.
Yeah, then we don't have a Monday show.
Oh, we always have a show.
We need to not.
I got tabs for days.
Let's see what the 10th Amendment says. 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment, part of the Bill of Rights, expressed the principle of federalism, also known as states' rights, by stating that the federal government has only those powers delegated to it by the Constitution, and that all other powers not forbidden the states can fuck with. So there you go.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, I'm not even sharing that, but either way, there you go. That would have been it. Okay, back to this. Are we happy so far with what the Supreme Court did this year?
Yeah. Question: can a state vote to leave the United States and become their own country? Could like Florida and DeSantis just go, "Fuck America, we're going to vote to leave America and become the country of Florida"? Or is that not allowed? Like, would the federal government be like, "Nope, we own you, bitch"? Because we had it here in Canada where Quebec was going to separate a couple times, and it came down to a vote. The country literally voted within like 1 or 2% to keep Quebec in Canada.
There's something about not being able to create a new state. And I bet, I don't know, that's a good question. Apparently not. We fought a war over it. Well, that's true. So can states secede democratically? Okay.
Yeah, not violently. Like the state votes to leave the United States Union. Because in Canada we can and almost did, and I wish we fucking would.
It says, can states constitutionally secede from the United States? Following the presidential election of November 6, 2012, citizens from each of the 50 states signed secession petitions on the White House website requesting to peacefully form their own government separate from the U.S. In response to these petitions, other citizens signed petitions requesting the president sign an executive order such that the American citizens who signed a petition from any state to secede from the U.S. shall have their citizenship stripped and be peacefully deported. Wait a minute. We never had any type of insurrection. Yeah. The second time. Obviously, this is an emotional issue, but emotions aside, this is a duty of every American citizen to uphold the supreme law. The reasoning of the constitutionality for secession is found in the 10th Amendment, in which it states the powers not delegated to the U.S. by the Constitution nor prohibited by the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. This means that if the Constitution did not delegate a power to the national government or prohibit it from the states, then the states and the people have that power. One may search long and hard, but they will not find the power to secede either delegated to the national government or prohibited from the states in the Constitution. Constitutionally, states can secede. I don't know how.
And show America how great being woke is. It'd be like Fish Tank, but with a state. Could you imagine California just running amok doing whatever the fuck they wanted without? It would be crazy. It'd be like North Korea.
California loves being part of the state. It loves being part of the union.
California would go bankrupt without America.
No, it would not. You're ridiculous.
Take Hollywood out of America. What industries left besides tourism?
Agriculture. Are you serious right now?
I don't know California.
Well, then you shouldn't say that. Our GP is probably more than your entire country.
Is it?
California's probably.
Without Hollywood, though, like you got to take out the Hollywood.
Without
bullshit.
Hollywood, I'm talking agriculture. I wasn't even really. I'm sure the movie industry is giant. I'm sure porn is like really big, but our ag is huge. So I mean, we take minerals out of California all over the place. When I was thinking of these booms, that's what I was thinking about, the oil and the they take just a shitload of soda ash right from here. I don't know. There's a lot of product coming out of our state.
I think we have like the largest potash mine in Canada. 2020, you had 3.8 trillion in 2017 for California. Canada had 2.1 trillion.
Told you.
Yeah, but we have like a third of the population of California.
Either way, we'd be all right without the federal government. By far.
I don't think you would.
I think if they put tariffs on us,
you wouldn't have a military anymore. Who would defend you? The Mexicans and the northern.
We don't need a military. Doesn't defend us anyways, you commie. What we have, we are personally armed, and we have sheriff's departments who are more loyal to the citizens than, I wouldn't say the military, but definitely than the powers that be.
A couple of killdozers would fuck California up without the military.
A couple of killdozers will fuck anything up without the military. Not exclusive to us. Anyways, we run the killdozers in California. Fuck out of here. California receives more federal funding than they pay by population numbers. Each state has a National Guard. But if we seceded, will we have that? I don't think so.
No. That's what I mean. You lose all of it.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that's... I don't feel like that's what's keeping us safe, I guess.
Yeah, you're number one. California's number one for GDP out of all the states.
California going to trans the immigrants.
Or Texas.
You're welcome for that, y'all. We're going to trans the immigrants. We're going to gay bomb them, and they're going to be docile. 11 million immigrants here. That's a lot. A lot. And we're going to fix it. National Guard reports to the governor. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, there you go, Nova. Fuck out of here. We got a National Guard.
That's why Trump wanted the National Guard at the White House, and he was denied the National Guard.
Does Washington, D.C. have a National Guard? Let's ask the internet.
Washington, D.C. is weird. They're like their own little country.
Not really. They're
they have different rules than most, though.
What is it called? It's a district. That's in the name. Took me a second. Does Washington, D.C. have a National Guard?
Because I think Pelosi is the one that told the National Guard not to come because they needed the insurrection.
District of Columbia National Guard is a branch of the U.S. National Guard. Is a state-based military force. There you go, Nova. We don't fucking need America. We got thems. And that looks serious.
Yeah, the National Guard are the people who don't make it into the military usually.
What? Don't you dare.
I dared.
Take your hat off. What are you wearing? Take your stupid hat off.
National Guard, they call weekenders.
No. You're thinking of the reserves.
Is that not the National Guard?
Should I wait, hold on.
I don't know. I don't know the military make fun of the National Guard. So people will elevate, they'll try the National Guard to see if they can handle it, and then they'll step into the military without the commitment, because you can leave the National Guard whenever you want without getting in trouble.
And, okay, the National Guard and the reserves are two separate groups with different protocols. So there you go. The reserves are the ones who do it for free, I think. The National Guard is made up of National Guard members from the states appointed to federal military service under the consent of their state governors. Man, first one shot is so smart. Good morning, Charlemagne. What? I thought they were like RoboCops. You be careful out there with them.
New York's got RoboCops now in the subways.
Let's check into it.
Because no one's going to push that onto the tracks in front of a train for a fucking TikTok video.
Stop.
We're not gonna pay to put a couple extra officers down there. We're gonna pay like $500,000 so this can take pictures of people and give them a help button. So when you're getting raped or murdered or robbed, you push that button and say, "Can you help me?"
It says if you happen to ride the subway between midnight and 6 a.m., which seems to me like the worst fucking time to be there. The worst
time when you want
there will be no real cops. There's no real cops. Just this guy.
Right?
They're like, where's your gun? Officer, get your gun. You're just trying to get around him like you and the bad guy.
Of the government to protect its citizens?
Or is it? I mean,
you could pay homeless people, give them cameras to do this. Just give a bunch of homeless people $50 phones, say record any crime you see and call 911 if you see a crime and commit it.
That's true. This thing doesn't have a gun either.
And it would be way better. They'd be on, say, look, every crime you catch, we'll give you $50. Those homeless people will be out there fucking catching criminals left, right, and center.
Yeah. And get back. That's like vigilante shit or citizen's arrest. I want to learn how to perform a citizen's arrest.
They don't get involved. They don't say stop. They just record and dial 911, which is all this fucking robot does, but someone's going to push it in front of a train. I bet money on it. It's going to be sponsored by Pfizer. You're going to see Pfizer stickers on it and Moderna stickers on it here soon.
You don't need the government to tell you how to do this. I'll tell you. In the U.S., a private person can stop or arrest an individual engaged in a serious crime. You can also use reasonable force to hold them until law enforcement arrives on the scene. This is known as a citizen's arrest. The rules on when and how an individual may conduct a citizen's arrest varies from state to state.
Isn't there a guy on trial for this right now? In this New York subway?
Well, that guy died. So Mr. Penny did accidentally do the deed on that guy. You can't do that. That is not one of these steps. I bet you step 5 isn't stop the breathing. That's going to be a problem.
Did he die
to
from
determine
not breathing,
whether the crime is a felony?
What's that?
He died of the
George
I think
Floyd
he had asphyxiation from chokehold, and that's like what the coroner ruled it.
Yeah, but so did George Floyd, but he also had 4 times the lethal limit of fentanyl in him. Not the legal limit, lethal. 4 times lethal. And
yeah, but in the George Floyd case, didn't the coroner amend her report to not say that?
After she got a phone call, I imagine.
Yeah. You never know. Find out. Dude, what the fuck? Step 1, witness a crime. Step 2, Google it to see if it's a crime. Step 3, find out what the actual law is.
Right.
You're never going to arrest somebody if you go by these rules. Decide if the crime was a breach of the peace. Decide if you can safely make an arrest. And then do it all. Number 6, be prepared to accept the consequences. So I was wrong. It does say if you do the deed, you're fucked up. If it turns out you didn't have grounds to make the arrest, you could be sued for false imprisonment, assault and battery, and other torts. You may also face criminal charges. Don't make a citizen's arrest unless you're willing to face the risk. Oh, I love how they did this.
Moral of the story is don't help anybody ever. Never fucking help anyone.
No, that's what they want. They want us to be Sodom and Gomorrah. In Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't help anyone. That was exactly how it was. If they can get us back there.
It was like a record precedent.
Penny.
What's that?
Oh, say more.
The one, a woman was being raped, and it was in a little alley where all these people lived in apartments. So there's like actual 100 witnesses to the rape, and she was screaming rape, help, help, rape, but nobody would get involved because they assumed someone else will get involved. So nobody helped her, and she was just raped and everything in the street. And that's when they start, don't yell rape, yell fire. Because everybody watched it. I think she was even murdered. But yeah, that was crazy. Because everyone just said, someone else's problem. Because if you go down there and get involved, you could go to jail.
I almost just died. I almost got murdered from the story.
Yeah, she cried rape and no one helped. New York, which is what New York's revolting back to now.
Is this the same thing? Hold on. There was this is the murder of Kitty. Oh shit, I closed it. 1 second. Mess. Dude, I almost died. Something happened and I breathed down the wrong something happened. Is it Kitty Genovese?
Yes, Kitty.
In 1964, Kitty, a 28-year-old bartender, was raped and stabbed outside an apartment building where she lived in the Kew Garden neighborhood of Queens in New York. 2 weeks after the murder, New York Times published an article erroneously claiming that 38 witnesses saw and heard the attack and that none of them called the police or came to her aid.
Called the cops.
Genovese syndrome, and the murder became a staple of the U.S. psychology textbooks for the next 4 decades. However, researchers have since uncovered major inaccuracies in the article. Police interviews revealed that some witnesses had attempted to call the police. In 1964, reporters at a competing news organization discovered that the Times article was inconsistent with the facts, but they were unwilling at the time to challenge the Times.
How do you attempt to call the police? You walked towards the phone and then stopped halfway, or like?
Well, in 1964, maybe they got a busy signal or some shit. I don't know. Attempted to call the police. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. That lady that stabbed her husband in Florida, the stand your ground lady, I forgot her name. Susan.
Oh, did you see the pimp with the Rambo knife? Stand your ground? I don't know if it was Florida, but it was fucked up. That was a crazy video. Type in pimp with Rambo knife gets shot. Don't bring I think I put it in my Discord. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Pimp Rambo knife.
It was like a week ago.
Oh, sorry
yes.
about that.
Look at that knife. He just shot. You saw the flash. When he reached up with his hand, the guy just shot it because he looked like he was going to grab his gun.
This a pimp. This is
a guy walking backwards.
Oh.
Yep, that was a dumb idea.
Boys, when the phrase "pimping ain't easy,"
pimping ain't easy.
What? He was gonna hit the bullet away. He was just gonna.
Well, I think he was gonna grab the guy's gun and then try and stab him, like that. Like reach his left hand like this and stab, and the guy shot him before he could touch his gun. I would say that's self-defense 100% of the time.
Yeah, it seems like one dude pulled up to the other dude's house. Imagine they back into your house so they could get away easier. You're like, hold on, I'm gonna fuck you up. First, I gotta get the right parking job.
Well, there's that one. We have a couple more. The guy pulls into his yard and the cops are like following him, and I don't know if he backed into his driveway or pulled into his driveway. Anyway, when the cops rolled up, they didn't ask anything. They just started shooting at him. He is like just ducking from bullets. He's like, "What did I do?"
Couple things. Chat says Fentanyl Floyd Ree is his name. First shot said they helped themselves to booty holes in Sodom and Gomorrah, but that wasn't their sin. Witchy Bish. Citizens arrest is how they caught the Night Stalker. They beat the shit out of him first, though. Citizens don't got the proper training. Liptard has said that's not a gun. This is a gun. Crocodile Dundee. Okay, so we saw the Harvard, Hansen, attrition, Abitron.
What's that one?
Austria versus Oh, this is a copyright trademark case. Let's look at this. This one is back to the case. Hetronic, a U.S. company, manufactures radio remote control heavy-duty construction equipment. By agreement, Abitron, a foreign corporation, distributed Hetronics products, mostly in Europe. The relationship deteriorated when Abitron decided that it, not Hetronic, owned the rights to Hetronics trademarks and other intellectual property. Abitron began manufacturing products identical to Hetronics and selling them under the Hetronic brand, mostly in Europe. Hetronic terminated their contractual relationship, but Arbitron continued to manufacture and sell the products, making tens of millions of dollars. Hetronic sued Abitron, and a jury sitting in the Western District of Oklahoma awarded Hetronic over $100 million in damages based on infringement. The district court entered a worldwide injunction barring Arbitron from selling the infringing products, and appealed to the U.S. court for the 10-second affirmed the court's conclusion that the Lanham Act applies extraterritorially, but limited the court's injunction. So, what the Supreme Court? The question is, does the Lanham Act permit Lanham? They're not actually.
Lanham. I'll go with you.
Does the act permit the owner of a U.S. registered trademark to recover damages from the use of that trademark when the infringement occurred outside of the United States and is not likely to cause confusion in the United States? What did they rule, Nova?
I don't know.
What would you think? So the question is, this other company stole their product while they had a relationship, is selling it, continued to sell it, and they got sued. They won a $100 million lawsuit, which was taken to court from this European company. Was like, hey, we don't even fucking need to abide by your copyright and trademark laws. Like, who the hell do you think you are, America?
Yeah, conclusion. America can't sue somebody outside of America. American laws only apply to Americans. In America. American law, I don't even know if American laws apply to Americans outside of America, do they?
It says unanimous decision for Abitron, majority opinion by Alito. The Lanham Act extends trademark protection only to claims where the infringing use in commerce is domestic. Right. Lanham Act extends trademark protection only to claims where the infringing use is domestic. Alito authored the majority opinion. Unless Congress explicitly states otherwise, U.S. laws are generally presumed to apply only within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States.
That's why China just fucking copies all your patents and does everything America has and steals all your business, manufactures it in China and sends it back to you because you can't sue them.
Yeah, that sucks, but also that's the way it goes. So, wait a minute. Protection only claims where the infringement using commercial. Okay, is domestic. Two more. That's not. Oh, same chat. I almost reread. That's not a gun. Okay, Biden v. Nebraska and Moore v. Harper. What's Biden in Nebraska? Higher Education Act. Oh, this is his student loan debt. The Higher Education Act governs federal aid and authorizes the Secretary of Education to cancel or reduce loans held by some public servants and borrowers who have died, become permanently or totally disabled, or bankrupt, or whose schools falsely certify them, close down, or fail to pay lenders. Under the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students Act, the HEROES Act, the Secretary may waive or modify any statutory or regulatory provisions applicable to the loan programs as the Secretary deems necessary in connection with a war or other military operation or national emergency. As the COVID-19 pandemic was ending, the Secretary invoked the HEROES Act to issue waivers and modifications reducing or eliminating most borrowers' federal student debt. States challenged the plan. The Eighth Circuit issued a nationwide preliminary injunction. Preliminary holding. Supreme Court invalidates the Secretary of Education's 2022 program to reduce or eliminate federal student loan debt for most borrowers. Syllabus. Note, where it is feasible, this is going to be released. Okay.
Do you think Biden did that as a campaign promise, knowing that it was always going to be struck down anyway?
No, I don't think he knows anything. I do. Yeah, I know. I think he was like completely thought this was fine. Somebody probably told him we'll use the HEROES Act, blah, blah, blah. Great. Let's do it. And he put it through. And I don't think he knows anything. I don't think he could discern
didn't he promise
this
that
was going to be legal
COVID?
Or not.
Oh, didn't he promise to get rid of the student loans before COVID ever happened? And the only way they could use the HERO Act was because it was a COVID pandemic, a national emergency.
It was? So they use the COVID as the emergency. So the HEROES Act required an emergency?
Yes.
Under the HERO Act, the Secretary may waive or modify any regulation necessary in connection with the war or military operation or national emergency. I see. So the COVID-19 was the national emergency he used to cancel the debt. So when he made the promise, he didn't even have a way to do it.
Right.
Wait a minute. When did he campaign? Did they campaign? He campaigned during COVID.
24, all the way.
No, I'm talking about when Biden would have made this promise. If the election was in 2020, then COVID was already happening when he was campaigning. So he could have promised he could have thought this through a little bit. I mean, I don't think he thought if it would work or not, but I'm sure somebody saw COVID as a national emergency it was and thought that they could at least on paper make it look like he was trying to follow through with his promises, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's not allowed to do that. They said no.
January 6th, a national emergency when there was no real emergency, let alone nationally.
Okay, anyway, so they wasn't allowed to do that. The Supreme Court struck that down and said no. No, Charlemagne, don't get this stuck in my head.
Democrats are still going to push that, and I wonder how many people voted for the Democrats solely on that one factor that they're going to get rid of my student loan. Because that's how Trudeau got elected. It was solely on he legalized pot in Canada. People who never voted before, never voted since, only voted for him to legalize pot. They didn't care about the politics or the ramifications. They just wanted legal pot. So I wonder how many people voted for Biden purely to wipe out their student loan debt.
That part, and the fact that they hated Trump because they had been told to hate Trump for so long. And there was like a whole crop of voters who for 4 years came up.
I bet you some Republicans voted for Biden just to get their $100,000 student debt fucking reduced, or in the hopes of.
Maybe
people are more selfish than they are patriotic in general.
I agree, but I don't think Biden's votes came from a hatred for Trump. I think
fraud.
Just like Trump's came from a hatred of Clinton, but there wasn't enough.
Well, I think Biden was fraud. I think 100% was fraud. I don't think he was elected in fucking anywhere fairly at all. Zero, zilch.
Biden?
Yeah, I think it was 100% fraud. More people didn't vote for Biden than they voted for Obama.
Why? Half a country still hates Obama.
So you think more? I think some people who were Republicans that were black voted for Obama just to break that glass ceiling. But I don't think those exact same people voted for Biden because he's white old man who.
Those same people who would vote to break a glass ceiling with the black man instead of care about our country are the same people who would vote against Trump. They're the same voters. It's just time magnified by a lot because of 4 years of like literal hatred for him, always pumped into the TVs, and then boom, if you were 15 years old when that started, very vulnerable, probably hated most things and believed what the news told you. By 18, you're able to vote for Biden. Boom, bucket, get rid of Orange Man bad. Now 4 years later, they're gone through college, they didn't get their loans done, the gas prices are crazy, there's 2 wars. Now I think there's like a look back and you're like, okay, it was easy to vote against. I don't know. I guess
no, you're right, because I voted for Trudeau to get my legal weed because I was a lefty back then. So I was that mindset, just crazy. It happens.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to turn my camera off so you didn't watch me take a pot needle. My bad. Let me get that back up.
If chat doesn't see it,
Add to stage.
So what did you think of my my new Arcada clip? Did you enjoy that one?
Which one is it?
My newest one.
I don't think I saw it. Unless we watched it together. What was it called?
I Ricada worships with the Church of PPP. I think it just made it yesterday.
Okay, I did see that. I don't know. Hold on. We'll watch it. We'll let chat. We'll let chat chime in on it.
Like,
let's get through this very last one.
PPP is like nails on a chalkboard, but they're so crazy entertaining. It's like Trailer Park Boys, but on YouTube. Like, and PPP.
But it's not on YouTube, is it? Is it?
Well,
are they on YouTube?
I will not use Kick. So unless Alyssa re-uploads it, I'm not seeing it because I'm not using Kick. They want to download your fucking type and everything when you try to log on there. No way.
Shai said she was actually considering Kick because of Kino Casino.
Oh no, stay away from Kick.
I mean, hey, if the content's there, then go there. Don't listen to Nova.
Just be careful what you have in your background and what permissions. Just read the permissions before you go Kick. Then again,
okay, one more thing. Let's do it.
Because they have TikTok, so
if you have TikTok, just
give up.
Matthew Perry yourself from the jacuzzi.
All
you
the
know
links
what I'm saying?
in chat, click everything, click all the pop-up ads, click it all if you have TikTok.
Click it all. Exactly. Okay. Moore v. Harper explained the debunked independent state legislatures theory is on the Supreme Court's docket. Okay. Published. Updated. Okay, we'll see if this is updated. It says it was updated after the Supreme Court rejected the theory. Read it here. What is Moore v. Harper about? Moore v. Harper, the Supreme Court has been asked to decide whether the North Carolina Supreme Court has the power to strike down the legislature's illegal gerrymandering constitutional map for violating the North Dakota Constitution. The legislators have argued that a debunked interpretation of the U.S. Constitution renders the state courts and state constitution powerless in matters related to federal elections. I thought this was interesting because
did they want to redraw maps to win districts or something?
They did say that that's what happened and that the Republicans took more than they should have. And so they took it to court and they were like, hey, are they allowed to do some shit? And I'll read it. In 2021, North Carolina's Republican-dominated state legislature passed on a party line vote an extreme partisan gerrymander to lock in a supermajority of the state's 14 congressional seats. The gerrymander was so extreme that an evenly divided popular vote would have awarded 10 seats to the Republicans and only 4 to the Democrats. The map was a radical statistical outlier more favorable to Republicans than 99.999% of all possible maps. Because the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the federal courts cannot hear partisan gerrymandering cases, voters contested the map in state courts, contending that the map violated the state's constitution's free election clause, among other things. In February 2022, the North Carolina Supreme Court agreed with the voters and struck down the map, describing it as an egregious and intentional bipartisan gerrymander designed to enhance Republican performance and thereby give a greater to those voters than any other. The unrepentant legislature proposed a second gerrymandered map promoting a state court to order a special master to create a fair map for the 2020 congressional election. Unwilling to accept this outcome, 2 Republican legislators asked the Supreme Court to step in and reinstate their map. What has happened so far in the case? The Supreme Court hasn't made any decisions yet. This is before they did. In March, the court rejected the legislators' emergency appeal to put the gerrymander back in place. However, at the urging of 4 justices, the legislators filed a regular appeal asking the courts to consider whether to reinstate their map. In June, the court agreed to take up the case. The parties and many friends of the court briefs filed over the summer and fall. I wonder what these say. I didn't know that was highlighted.
I didn't think the feds had a say in how states determined anything about their voting.
So the reason that it's actually first on our map and we're getting to it last, which is kind of convenient, is that I think this is coming about because they know what they want to do with Trump in the 14th now. So they were like, hey, can we do this? They're like, nope, you can't do that. And they're just trying to get the rules so they can make sure they're playing by the right rules.
Yeah, they're testing the feds.
Let's see what's wrong with why the court take the case. What are the broader stakes? Let's go back. Share this. Putting election in the wrong hands. The independent state legislature's theory is a radical and basis sex. So basically both of these are, I'm pretty sure they're against the Supreme Court having a say in what the states do with their elections.
Yes.
Actually.
Well, because it can backfire, because the Democrats like to redraw their boundaries too when it suits them. So they don't want somebody to say that they can't really do it because they want to do it when it's convenient for them. They just don't want the Republicans to do it this time. So if you tie them up in fucking legalese for long enough, then it doesn't get decided.
Right. The Supreme Court was asked to review the case, and in doing so, the independent state legislature theory, question, decision. In a 6-3 ruling, the court ruled that while state legislatures have the constitutional power to regulate federal elections, state courts can oversee the process and provide a check on that power. Implication. The SCOTUS decision affirmed that state courts have the power to oversee state elections concerning state legislatures concerning federal elections via the checks and balances function, allowing another avenue to protect voting rights across the country. In protecting the separation of powers, the ruling also provided further protection against gerrymandering, which is the manipulation of electoral boundaries in favor of one party, and provides some stability for the elections. Right. The next election. The state had the power to oversee the legislatures concerning federal elections. So the states can oversee the checks and balances, which I think is why they are able to, because they can't say who it is, but they can say who is, like, the state will make sure this, like, how old are you? You're 35? Good, you can be in. Where were you born? Good, you can be in. Where were you ever charged of insurrection? Yeah. Or were you ever in an insurrection? Let me check the news. Yeah, you're out. You know what I mean? They're only allowed to disqualify or qualify. They're not allowed to do any other shit. And I think this is kind of what that was, that they reiterated that the
yes, good point.
The state courts have the power to oversee legislatures concerning federal elections via the checks and balances function, allowing another avenue to protect voting rights across the country. And so now here we are, when they're like, wait, the states aren't allowed to remove somebody. That I don't know, it's so confusing because the states are, if this, I guess it's because the ultimate power was given to Congress to decide if these were violations, and if they are, then the states are allowed to say yes or no, right? Like, this can be our candidate. Because all throughout
the state, can the state remove someone from the ballot for whatever reason to try and deny Trump, and then the people of the state just write Trump in and he can still win, couldn't they? So couldn't the people null and void?
In Colorado, in Colorado, they said that they would not count they wouldn't put him on the ballot, and they would not count write-in votes. So he's completely off in Colorado if they allowed it.
That's anti-democratic. You have to count the write-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't like Minnie Mouse come in like second or third?
But the state can't. I don't know. I doubt it. No. The state can, like, they can, like, not my child can't show up and be like, put my name on the ballot. Somebody's going to say you don't qualify. This is just somebody saying he doesn't qualify. And we're like, wait, how? He's 35. He's born. And they're like, oh, the insurrection thing. Like, where's that? 14.3. Like, oh, shit. Let me read it. Wait, this doesn't seem to apply. I don't understand it. What's going on? So that's kind of where we're at, right? Like, they're just trying to disqualify him. Not because it's Trump, right? Just because he's just a guy that they were looking at. And so it's interesting, though, because in those same provisions, it says Congress decides. Congress is the one, 2/3 Congress can override it. And then in Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, it says all of this is subject to Congress
approval. Yeah,
like their ultimate. Yeah, I don't know. Over 40% of world population voting in elections this year.
Yeah,
Good morning, Vicky.
Do you know about that?
No.
So this year, 2024, America's having their big election. India, 1 billion people, is having their election. I think China's having an election. I think a bunch of others. I think almost all these major countries are all having the elections all this year. This is like the Great Reset's waiting to happen this year. I think it's like half the population of the world gets to vote this year.
Maybe I should have typed in world elections. Well, you said you watched Cat Williams sing, right?
That was a great interview. I love that interview.
He said
I didn't know he was like religious or any of that stuff before I watched it either.
It was really good.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and his
throwing people under
face is like
center. He had morals. He wouldn't take. He turned away $50 million because he wouldn't put on a dress. Like, fuck yeah, that's a man right there.
No. My favorite part was when he said he could have been the 4th king of comedy, and they were like, well, why didn't you do something like, why not? He's like, because what they did to Bernie, fuck them. No, he said what they did to Bernie was fucked up, and there was really nothing they could do that it didn't matter. There wasn't a price tag, there wasn't a crown, there wasn't a fucking spotlight that he gave a fuck enough about that he was going to ride with some homies who would do that to a homie, and that's so. Yeah,
and that was really
good.
A fucking man, right? Because so few people can do it.
Such a great interview.
So few people can. When you dangle $50 million in front of you, so few people can say, "I don't care how much money I got."
Well, when you've been broke, you realize it's not the worst thing. You can be broke and still have a moral compass. You can be broke and still be a man. You could be rich and also get all that shit stripped away from you. So what matters more? Who's your master? His master's not money. He over and over and over again. That's what he was showing in that interview. Is that he doesn't fucking bow to the world.
Devil is money.
He said it's not about what black or white or left or right. It's about evil and good. And it's like, hallelujah. That's what we need to hear. That's the fucking truth. And that's the shit that can't be shut down.
No matter going crazy viral, like super viral.
Yeah. Well, I saw it. It had like almost 30 million views in 4 days, 1 million thumbs up. And he was like, Shannon, he was like, I'm gonna get this my last interview, man. It's over for me. Like, he's like, no, God's people are not that few. And I'm like, exactly. I was making fun of him pretty hardcore. If it wasn't such a long interview, we could.
He'll do anything for $1. He'll say anything for $1. He'll wear the dress. He'll fucking he'll do it.
Almost every way he interpreted what Kat was saying, he'd be like, "So you're saying?" Kat would be like,
Kathy, he was trying to Kathy Newman him.
Well, I don't think he's CTE. It's a son of a bitch.
And interject in the
middle at the beginning, right? Well, he did get the dates wrong. Kat said 2018. They caught him, and it's good that they did because he was able to restate his story and get his time right because he said it wrong, and that would have been incorrect if he said that joke in 2018 and homie said it in 2020. Then Kat's got his shit wrong. So here's your chance to fix that, and he did. And I thought, I mean, the truth don't mind getting questioned.
No. That's the way he was all about the truth. Kat's like, it doesn't matter, who you are, what you are. The truth don't care.
Well, Ice Cube came out and said, as far as those roles go, he was talking, Cat Williams was talking about the smiley guy and how he was never cast for a certain role because those were literally Cat's lines and he wrote the character and he did the research, blah, blah, blah. Ice Cube said, to be fair, like basically everything he said is true. Like he kept it 100, but at the beginning when they were casting roles, they did cast him, or they didn't cast him, they auditioned him for that. So he could have, in his mind, 20 years later, it's just the narrative has just changed a little. But the fact is they were looking at him for at least a half a second. But when they chose Cat took that character to what it is. And so you could see why both of them have their own version of.
I like that he called out the Hollywood too for characters that he created, he wrote, he designed everything about them. And then Hollywood is like wanted to put him in a dress. He's like, that character's not gay. That character's not that. I'm not doing that. You can go find someone else to do that because I'm not doing that. That's not who I made. That's not the character I created.
Vicky said the stuff about P. Diddler is very, very disturbing. What did he say about P. Diddy?
Puff Daddy's big gay.
Mm-hmm. Big gay, and
that's how he said. No, I can't. I'll misquote, but he's saying like that's how a lot of these people got where they were. They come in and said, "Suck my dick, and I'll make you famous." Lo and behold, they got famous.
Yeah, he's like, you show up and 3 other people got the role, and you're looking at them like, "What do you do to get here?" Because I didn't suck no dick. Well, there was an older interview that I saw this morning, and it was like a short, but it was again Cat Williams saying the reason why these dudes don't mind putting on the dress is because of all the dudes before them that put on the dress. It's a club.
Dress. Right.
Put on the dress. And there he is in his dress. I'm like, oh fuck, I hate thinking about it.
I've never liked fucking I never thought
Kevin Hart's supposedly an asshole too. He's supposedly a prick that is like got that short man syndrome where he
100%.
Don't you know who I am type shit. Like to his people in private, he's like that, not just like on some fucking Hennessy at the club. No, he's always he's like that in private. He's a piece of shit.
Man syndrome.
Shy said I named my grandma's cat P. Diddy. Need name change ASAP.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's better than P. Diddy. You want to call it
Kitty. Sea Kitty. Just start calling it Sea
Mace.
Kitty. The cat won't know. You just think you're drunk.
Sea Kitty.
SEA Kitty.
Oh, Sea Kitty. That's true. There you go. Sea Kitty is good, but I would call it Mace because Mace was always better than P. Diddy. He got booked.
Didn't he?
Isn't it? I almost said that. Isn't it weird how people that are that close to some fucking evil will like dip and find Jesus? Big shock.
Cat talk the talk and walk the walk. So,
what else do we have here? I'm gonna look at some other stuff by myself. Tomorrow we're going to do letters to Trump. Here it is. The ultimate election year. All the elections around the world 2024. Taiwan. This is the stuff you were saying just now. Is there a picture?
Yes, Taiwan's a big one because China threatened Taiwan if they don't vote for a pro-China party, they're going to invade. So, of course, they're not going to vote for them.
Population 1.4 billion in India voting.
Same as India. India's kind of at war with China, too.
US, Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Russia Federation, Mexico. There's only 129 million people in Mexico.
Yeah, because they're all in California.
Just open the border, let them in. Let's get this shit over with.
11
Forget it. Iran, the UK, South Africa, South Korea, Algeria, Ukraine.
Weird that they're all happening the same year.
March 31st, April. Is it all in the spring? Maybe there's one in June.
It's almost like World War III is coming. All these people are going to, this is going to be the decision, how they vote.
No, that's 2020 was the battle for the soul of the nation.
Your nation.
Not
this
this.
is the
Where
world.
the hell? America is the world. Everybody knows that. Chad. Cambodia, all of these have, I guess it's probably not a big deal. Maybe they have elections every year. That's a lot, though.
And it's just the total population. I think it's like 70% of the planet's population's voting this year.
And what is it usually? What's the average that votes every year?
Not 70%.
70%. All right, cool. Let's see if it actually said 70%.
Yeah, I made that number up, but
globally, more voters than ever in history will head to the polls, as at least 64 countries plus the European Union, representing a combined population of 49% of the people in the world, are meant to hold national elections, the result of which for many will prove consequential for years to come. So there you go. You're right. 40, but you're also kind of right. It's definitely some shit that matters.
Population number percentage of it way off.
If you blur your eyes, you are correct. All right. So tomorrow we're gonna do some letters to Trump. I brought in a new desk in here. I'm gonna figure out how to make that work tomorrow because we're going to read this book.
Yeah, I can jump on early if you want to troubleshoot before.
Yeah, if I can't figure it out today, then I will. I haven't actually got the camera set up. I just have the idea. But still, I mean, at the end, worst cases, I will just use this camera and move it over there. So in that, I already know this one works.
That was her plan, Chad. She just tried to take herself off camera the whole time. She doesn't even have a
Well, I think I would have to be right because no, I was going to use my phone and just give my phone the password to be here and just add it to screen.
Oh yeah, you could just
this would be
books over like to something beside it.
Right. Exactly. See, and then, but at the end of the day, I do have to flip the pages, so I might not be on camera anyway. So I was trying to think logistically if it even made sense for me to set up a second setup if I wasn't even going to be on camera. Because I'm going to have my microphone over there with the book if I'm going to be reading it at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really see the setup, but I really wish that Rumble had a community section so I could post pictures for people. So I could post a picture of this and I don't have to put it on, Twitter or something. I could put it here so that I could say, like, definitely, like, just so this community could see what I'm dealing with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I highly suggest the Lord of the Memes channel on Rumble. Nice. Macy Kitty. Mace. Haha.
Could you?
I think we're done.
Could you add your second camera as a third co-host and make that camera just have permissions?
Well, I don't have a second camera. I don't pay for it. You have to pay. That's like the second tier of being StreamYard user. I just pay for the cheap one. But I could add my other camera just as another user. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. I can do. What was the question again then?
So yeah, just set it up, and then you can use your camera as a third person on the show, and then they can just share screen.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Indubitably. Is there anything else happening in the world? You know what else I want to start doing? I think I'm going to start doing this on Thursday. I don't know what's going to happen yet. If I'm going to still do Thursday night shows, if I'm going to do them during the day. Well, Tuesday is Trump book, but on Thursdays, I thought about doing 2 things, 3. I thought about doing 100 things because I'm trying to find the one thing that I can do by myself.
Milk that election cow. And this is the ultimate to milk that election cow.
I don't have anything to talk about with the election except for Tuesdays. Tuesdays, it could be all Trump because of the book. And Mondays, we can talk about Trump lawsuit if necessary. But I don't want to sit around and read headlines about Trump. I don't find that interesting. Do you?
Or the crazy things that the Democrats come up with to say, because P-tapes, how are they going to top the Russian P-tapes this year?
That's so if that shit starts happening, I will find that interesting, sure.
Yeah. Because it's going to be
But that's not politics. That's just stupidity.
Right. That's what I mean.
I don't know what's going to be this year.
The Democrats are going to be crazy desperate. They don't even know if Joe Biden's going to be running, right? They have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm still waiting for Joe to die of COVID, and they're just going to postpone the election, and you guys are stuck.
That's not going to happen. We'll keep on with the elections.
Big Mike will step in and be running America.
No, Big Mike will become president when roosters have teeth. Or when Tom Brady's new wife becomes the quarterback. Not the topless one, the memes one. Says it highly suggests Lord of the Memes Twitch Tuesday. Says I'll check that out. Not the topless one, the memes one. Now, okay, so there's another thing that I love doing. I love reacting to INFJ content. INFJ is a Myers-Briggs personality type. I think there are 16 of them. Have you ever taken that test, Nova?
I have a couple times.
You have?
Some job interview places do it.
Oh,
I took it when
that's disturbing when you're fucking. What did you know your personality type?
No, I have no idea. I can't even remember what I got.
Do you have the paperwork still?
But I was a lefty back then, so it's probably different than what I get now.
No, it'll be exactly the same. It's more just how you are. You could be left or right, and okay, you need to take you should take the test. Well, so okay, a couple things.
I was on a show live.
Oh my god, that would be fun. What time is it? 11:11. 45 minutes. I have 45 minutes. I don't know if I should do it now. Probably not.
We'll see. We can save it for another show.
It's not that interesting. I don't think we should do a whole show of it. Throwing it in at the end of a show where people can click away right now. They don't give a fuck.
We could fill in and chat can just get the link and they can fill in their own at the same time. Then everybody can throw what their fucking 4 acronym letters are.
Mm-mm. Honestly, I don't recommend that. I think Vicky and I did a whole show where we did quizzes and stuff. And being live, you know how like you're definitely yourself, but there's something different about it. I think that same something different, that whatever it is, would skew.
Yeah, you're being watched. So you change answers.
Do that privately. Yes. Yeah, where you might have been like, "Fuck that." You might be like, "Oh, you think that everyone has that in them where everyone does." So I would suggest doing it not live, but then we could go through. So what I was going to say is I was thinking about taking Thursdays and reacting to INFJ content because it is my favorite, and I made a few thumbnails. Let's see what this one
is. Do it.
Do it. INFJ. Because I find myself having the most like I'll talk to myself the most when I watch that content, and I'm like, oh, I really like this. Yeah, I don't know that my audience would like that, and so that sort of matters. But the other thing I thought about doing,
other people will probably like it, right?
Yeah, that's true. And maybe Monday and Tuesday audience doesn't like it, but there becomes a Thursday audience or something like that. I don't know if that's a reality. I just want to do stuff that I find entertaining and fun.
Yeah, because people enjoy seeing your reactions to things you enjoy. That's why they like to have your camera on. They like to see your micro expressions or see your face screenshot when I say something fucking retarded.
But the other thing I thought,
enjoy.
Vicky, remember the astrological placement charts? That was awkward, but a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Okay. The other thing I thought about doing was this, and it's not just how to survive New York, but how to survive Disneyland, how to survive fucking, not fucking, I can't think of anything now that I said that. The snow, so, but I honestly don't know how to do this. So I was thinking it could either be like, we're doing New York today and then go virtually to New York. And be like, honestly, if I got dropped off in a spaceship right now and I'm in New York, what do? I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, New York might be easy, but what if you were in fucking China?
You can walk the streets to New York, can't you? With Google Earth?
Totally.
Just by moving your little man?
Yeah. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to run Google.
Does this look like a safe alley?
I'm not good. I won't be able to run Google Earth on my PC, I don't think, but there are different ways to do it.
And share screen.
Possibly an idea. But just different places all over the world, like how would it really work? Not just, okay, get your phone, make sure you have a battery, and then Google shit and have your Google Translator, your AI pen or whatever, making life easy. But like for real, if you were in China, what would you do? I'd probably have to like draw pictures a lot. I think I would need like a pen and paper to draw pictures of bacon or whatever. So, because I don't know how to say that.
Don't call an American flag.
Their picture language. No, I'll be Australian. Mate, food, mate. I'll go to the bathroom and I'll draw amber turds on the bed. No, I don't know. It seems like a fun idea, but I don't know if it's a whole show idea. I don't know.
That's why we test it.
Something.
Remember, if you fail, you just learn something
Could
new.
be a one show. Yeah. I'd go straight to pizza. China has the best chicken chow mein. I bet it doesn't taste like chicken chow meow. Gross.
Do you know there's more Chinese food restaurants in America than there are McDonald's?
I don't believe it. Actually, I do believe it. We have like a McDonald's here and like 4 Chinese food places. You might be
right. I think every small town has a Chinese food place because when they immigrate, that's their only business they really start up. Is that or dry cleaning?
The Chinese? No, don't wait. The Chinese. Yeah, I don't know. They're all into fucking door dashing and delivering groceries. Everyone is. I'm like, you know what?
The Chinese food.
The Indian man, their gas station burned down and they were going to put up a new gas station. We were really all hoping for it because it's awesome, best place in town, right? Well, guess what? They did fundraisers, and in the meantime, they started door dashing and grocery delivering. And then the other day, boy, he came by the house and I'm like, hey, how's it going? What's going on with the gas station? And he's like, oh, we're not doing that no more. Like, motherfucker, how much money is in door dashing? Get out of here. I'm going to start door dashing. So they figured out there's some kind of
money laundering.
There's some kind of way to make money scheme. I don't know that they're laundering. That's the thing about a lot of our immigrants is that
you wash the tips.
Maybe
same as art.
No, it's way harder to wash your tips when you're putting it through an electronic device where at the other end DoorDash is going to be like, this says he made X because the computer is keeping a tally. None of that's cash. If it were cash, I could see.
That's true.
Dib, don't read my comment. Shows in bikinis would also be dope. Nah, man, I'm trying to keep my audience. Keep it.
That would keep the audience.
I promise you that would not. It would be all. I don't know that I want the audience who is like, look at this wine ant crashing into the walls. No, thank you.
You're gonna need to change outfits during your 24-hour stream. So pick 1 hour your 24-hour stream. We'll see if that's where you peak on views. Scientific.
Oh, I see. That's a good idea.
See, scientific.
Science. I'll do it for science. I'm not a hoa. I'll do it for science though. They get slaves to do it for them here. What were we talking about again?
Indians not working their businesses. They just pay people.
Oh, that seems very illegal. Cut my life into pizza. This is my plastic form. Suffocation, heavy breathing. Don't give a fuck if I die eating. Hey, did you just write that? Or is that already a Weird Al song? You would look, but you might unsubscribe. Listen, I'm not trying to. I'm not doing that. Jeez. Plus, anyways,
hour 23.
Even if I had no shirt on,
just want to get it over with. We'll be able to fucking talk her into anything because she'll be mentally broken down, waiting for that 1 hour of sleep to come.
Mentally broken down? That's not a possibility, derp.
Oh, not a possibility. Do you hear that, chat? Clip that. When hour 20 rolls around, put it on repeat. Not a possibility. Not a possibility. Not a possibility.
Okay, no. What does it mean to be mentally broken down? Like, I can't go on any further. I'm delirious. I'm saying dumb shit. I'm done.
I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I've had enough. It's all Nova's fault.
You would have had a better chance at this if you hadn't told me that I might do it. Because with the little...
I think you should do it. I think you should piggyback off of Joe's 24-hour stream.
When is Joe's?
I think he's going to do it the 31st of January.
Really? On a Wednesday.
He hasn't set the date yet. He was just talking about it in his chat, but he's like end of January-ish is what he was saying.
And he's doing it for what? Just
shits and giggles.
Money grift?
Yeah.
No way. No one stays up for 24 hours, especially when they're Jewish, for shits and giggles. Shy, back me up on that.
When's his drunken holiday? When's that? Remember he gets to get hammered?
Oh, Purim?
What's that holiday?
I think that's a little bit later. Is that happening? If that happens, let's celebrate it. Let's dress up with him and get Jewish drunk. That feels like a lot of fun. We need to get in. Okay, same. Does that mean you're in? Your backgrounds go well together, very American.
Alcohol.
You said what?
Just think, I don't control what I say now. Picture me on alcohol.
When was the last time you drank?
Like, just had a beer a few months, but like got drunk. 2008.
8? Oh no.
Yeah, when I was playing rugby, the last time I got drunk.
And did you do it on purpose, or would you just? Did you always get drunk then?
Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, we get hammered after practice. Driving home.
She said. She said, "Putin is in the spring."
I won't be having a show the next day. That's for sure, because I'll be hungover for like 2 days.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, don't do that. But also,
Hey,
yeah, let's do that. It's in the spring.
If you do the bikini stream, I'll do a drunk stream.
No way am I doing the bikini stream, but you can do the mankini thing. Have you seen one of those?
No. I don't know what it is, but no.
You haven't, or you're saying no? That's what I thought. It's.
Both.
Do you remember when we watched the those girls that had the string bikini thing?
Yes.
You remember that? Okay, so it's like that, where it's really like the underwear come up to your shoulders, but then it's just
So it's something in Nick Recade's wardrobe. Is that what you're telling me?
It's a hammock. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's like a banana hammock.
I went for Putin and L for alcohol. Yeah, I don't even need alcohol. I would like to try to get to green out. That would be fun. Just smoke enough weed to green out. I could line up just a bunch of joints here and and then next thing you know, I green out. I throw up or whatever. That'd be cool. I don't think so, but I would be willing to throw up on weed.
24-hour stream, roll 24 joints, and every time the clock strikes zeros, you just smoke a joint.
Well, I feel like I should roll 48 joints, and every half an hour I should smoke one. Do you think I could get to the end of one in 30 minutes? Yeah, for sure.
Right?
That seems more realistic. How much weed is in one joint? A gram? 2 grams? Let's Google.
Depends how big you make. You should get those ones that I got the other day, whatever the fuck they were called. They were great. They're actually banana leaf instead of rolling papers. King Palm, that's what it is. King Palm.
He said, I think we would just fall asleep because we couldn't let you do it alone. Is it like my pool speedo? Listen, my dog. First shot, did you really stop hot needles for your New Year's resolution, or is that a lie?
I would like to start smoking weed, but I can't.
Researchers estimate that the average joint contains 0.3, not even a half a gram of marijuana.
I wouldn't even consider that being stoned.
Yes, you would. One hit gets you stoned. Relax.
3 of a gram?
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about weed. It's like
that's a bowl. That's one bowl.
And a bowl gets you stoned, right?
Yeah, but I smoke more than one bowl at a time.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. 24 joints is ridiculous. It's not even a lot of weed. That's not even a lot. I want to trying to die here.
I think she's talking big. 24 1 gram joints. You will not make 24 hours.
Because I'd fall asleep. I probably should make sure it's all like sativa, right? Because is that the upper?
Sativa's
I haven't done the weed.
I think.
In 20 years. So you just
I think.
Indica sounds like couch log. Someone tell me in chat. I am currently transitioning from smoking and edibles for pain to strictly edibles, and it sucks. I'm bored and irritated. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's the
strictly edible.
The hand to mouth. It's the whole fucking what do you call it? I don't know.
Muscle memory. The event.
Spiritual. It's like the whole spiritual act of having a joint and rolling it and lighting it and breathing out. It's all of that, right? It's like meditative.
Yeah, totally.
Because that's why smokers get the hand to mouth cigarette. Even if they have nicotine gum, it's not the same. They need the hand to mouth. They need the flick their finger to flick the ash. It's part of the cult,
Yeah. I don't I mean you're probably right, and replacing that will probably help trick your brain if you're trying to get off of it. But my trigger, I always want to smoke if I hear someone smoking, or if like they're drinking, or even if it's just them.
If I see someone smoking cigarettes on TV or a movie, I want to have a puff. And I don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah. That doesn't always happen. No, not when I just see them. And sometimes when I smell them when I'm driving, I'm like, gross.
The big exhale, that's like,
oh my God, Charlemagne, that could have been the worst typo in the history of your life. She said, I tried half a sativa gummy. I ate half my kitchen, rapped at my dog, and fell asleep in an hour. I would like to see that rap. I'm a really dope rapper as well. I don't even need to be high.
Ooh.
Smoking weed with the bong is the avatar's.
24-hour too, and you could have a joint and a cookie. Smoke a joint. When you're done, you have your cookie.
quit smoking cigs in 2006, and he doesn't smoke the marijuana because he's a Fed. Now I remember. I was vaping, but yeah, it's the act of smoking I like. Oh, gay.
Right. Yeah. You still have to try the liquor in the bong. Instead of water.
I've considered it, and we think it's stupid. Let me find out. Vodka in a bong.
Flavored vodkas. I got one.
Putting alcohol instead of water will also compound the fumes. You're replacing what would typically be water vapor and smoke with alcohol fumes, and this can be very intoxicating. Every time you get the bong, you actually get a combination of THC and alcohol. Oh no! So that's gonna get me drunk.
Right. Hit it, girl.
Oh, that would fuck me up. I can't do that. Dude, the smell of alcohol does already get me drunk, and now I can't even believe you don't have to drink it.
You didn't know you can vaporize alcohol? Type in vape. It's a whole new thing the kids are doing. They're inhaling alcohol instead of drinking it.
Back to the search.
Vaporized alcohol.
Okay, alcohol machine.
It's just alcohol. That's what the kids are doing.
Alcohol inhalation.
Yeah, so you get drunk from
alcohol inhalation is a method directly into the respiratory system with aid of vaporizing or nebulizing device. Your mom thinks you're in there just sleeping soundly and you're getting drunk. It is cheaply applied for recreational use when it is also referred to as alcohol smoking, but it has a medical application for testing on lab rats. Has medical applications for testing and treatment on pulmonary edema and viral pneumonia. Yikes. Cool. So we can save lives. If I put vodka in my bong, I'm literally saving my
lungs.
Does it say that?
Yeah, it says it's for your viral pneumonia. The alcohol neutralizes the virus and kills it.
Okay, there are occupational health and safety risks of inhaling alcohol vapor and mist. Inhalation devices make it substantially easier to overdose on alcohol. Are you trying to kill me? Yes. Alcohol bypasses the stomach and liver. It goes directly to the bloodstream. Oh, this is like butt chugging for the people who aren't adventurous.
Right. For the non-homosexual.
You can take shots. My friend, I used to know somebody that said that they took shots of vodka in their eye.
No way. That would burn.
I swear it's for real. People in Scotland do this shit. I swear to God, I'm gonna look it up.
No, they drink Buckfast in Scotland. Scotland, they drink Buckfast.
Vodka shots. Who's he? My dog is like, I have to poop. Whatever, dude. There's vodka shots on the internet. You can wait. Look at this idiot.
That's an idiot.
There's a lot of them. You can tell this faggot's Scottish. Damn it, I was going to try not to say faggot anymore, but this guy's face done screwed up my plans. There goes my resolution, you ginger faggot. Oh.
It's probably a meme to trick the Irish into trying it.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's awful. That's a bad idea. I hope all these people are blind in one eye. This is some Illuminati shit. These look cool. Jello shots, definitely the best. Okay, we're done with that. But it's real.
So if you use 151, the alcohol content is 75%, not 40, so you get a better hit when you have a puff.
I don't want to do it. I don't like being drunk. I like being high. When you're drunk, you lose like your mental facilities. When you're high, you're just hungry.
No, the true you comes out. That's what you're scared of. Remember, Joe's
that's
whole
what
holiday
mushrooms scare me about.
People see the true you.
Mushrooms scare me about the true me coming out because I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings and I didn't mean to. But
no, when you're on
alcohol,
mushrooms,
it's not.
You love the word. You're so happy and lovey and.
I'm the same on alcohol. I'm just a lot louder, and whereas sometimes, like I would know boundaries where I wouldn't maybe ask you something live on alcohol. I'll be like, well, you should have told me to stop. Not good.
Yes.
But I'm the same me. I just there's the filter gone. I filter a lot more shit than you realize. People are like, you're a cunt. I'm like, because what I said, you should have heard what I didn't said.
Heard daily.
I
After dealing with me, she can deal with stuff with her husband way easier.
Oh, I saw this California lawsuit where there's like 200 or something lawsuits against Tylenol for not labeling their product to be harmful for pregnant women. And but they had this thing called a
or destroying your liver. It does that too.
But okay, but I think there's a warning about that. I don't think there's a warning that it's actually, I think Tylenol is one of the only things that is marketed and toward pregnant women safe to take while pregnant. And so if they're saying that taking the acetaminophen or whatever it's called in real life possibly leads to ADHD and autism,
that would
spectrum disorders. But what they didn't account for in the it was like but there was a particular study, and 91 different scientists signed on to it. But what they didn't account for was autism or ADHD already being in the family of the children who were supposedly exposed to it in utero. So it wasn't
that it's really hereditary though. Like, is there proof that it's genetic?
That's the problem, right? Is that since so many people have been put on it arbitrarily, ADHD medicines, it kind of is going to fuck that up because they're going to be like, well, you already had it. Well, they might not. Could have it in their medical record because their parents are lazy fucks and they didn't want to run the energy out of their kids or whatever. So that's really going to probably mess up how we do look at autism through different medicines in utero. But they used it's called a Dobbs, some kind of hearing. Dahmer? That's not Dahmer. It has a B in it. It's called like some kind of shit. I'll look it up. Dauber, I think. Dauber. It's a medical hearing where they basically Daubert standard. Daubert. Daubert, maybe. Rule of evidence regarding the admissibility of expert witness testimony. So basically they were going to bring in the study as expert testimony, but the study had to have some kind of validity to it. So they basically can bring in this and challenge this thing. And so they did challenge it. It's probably going to be excluded. And so the other 200 cases that are pending using this as their evidence will have no more evidentiary basis and probably be dismissed. So that kind of sucks. They said it looked really good for these cases going forward until I think December when they did this Daubert thing and got the evidence excluded. So they were expecting this to be one of the biggest payouts ever. And there were, I think they said like 100,000 cases they expected to show up over the next 2 years had this been a thing. So big shock that it's not going to be a thing.
It's funny how that happens, eh?
Mm-hmm. Is that why I say crazy shit all the time? Yeah, because you've been putting vodka in your bong. There's vodka in your pot needles.
Try it. It's great.
So we're going to take off. My dog is out there barking his face off. We've been here 2.5 hours. We will be back tomorrow reading our Trump book. Please come out and hang out with us.
Live in an American
bikini. That shows up in the meantime.
Like Daytona style.
Not happening. It's not happening. That is not happening. But yeah. Just in case it does, you better tune in.
There you go.
All right, dudes. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes.
For nooner. Adios.
Peace.